Boom. I am alive and I'm not gonna say well. I lost a lot of fluid. Now, let me do a quick explanation of what today's stream is. As we all remember, this commission, it was purchased by the same person purchasing this commission. DBC has returned for another commission. This time, though, it is a edit commission, which is where they give me an image. It's either like art they found that they really like, but they want their character in it or as the character, or it's like scenes from an anime where they want their character in the anime scene, or like changed from the anime. It's basically an insertion or an edit. So they have ordered a edit. So let me go ahead, open. Wait, no, let me. New. Yes. Not gonna lie, this is actually my first edit commission using this drawing software. So let me figure out how to open up the image as a file. Open image as a layer, but I need to open the image as a file, like a whole file. Mostly because I want the same size frame. You know, actually, probably just do a new one. I think it's gonna be like a, should try 8x9. That seems about the size. Let me go ahead and import the image as a layer. These are not images I was thinking of. Oh look, there's Brett with Chuck Norris. Let's all take a moment to just stare at Base and Chuck Norris hanging out. Let's just appreciate that Base was touched by Chuck Norris. He is trained professionally in karate by Chuck Norris. I barely walk at the moment because I fucked up my leg. Well, I fucked up my asshole, so we both fucked up right now. You are not alone in your endeavor. We are the same right now. You can relate to me. You understand my pain, yes? Where's the image? I saved it. Where'd it go? Screenshot? No, that's not it. What the fuck? You know what? I'm gonna go all the way. 3 a.m., bro. What? DBC commission. There we go. DBC commission. Wait, it's already open. Oh, what? Did I say both of them as DBC commission? No, I didn't do that. Did I do that? You sure saved it on your PC? Let me double save it, because so this is the image that we are changing today. DBC wants his character in this pose, in this style. So first we're going to work on getting the head shape and the arm, the body. And then we're going to, after that, focus on how to make the strokes, like brush strokes. We got to actually focus on save image as. That's it. That's the file. I saved it as that. So where is this? PC Pictures Commission Reference. Yes. Just double download it just to make sure. Okay. Close. Open as layer. We're going to PC. What was it? PC. God damn it. I forgot the file it was in. PC something something. Look at my Coda fucking torpedoing into me. Jesus. Alright. Where is my... What did I say when I said... Commission reference. Found it. It's in pictures. This should be the file. Oh my god, it's so tiny. We're gonna pull that up. Edit. Select. Transform. I don't need it to be like great quality because it's not like it's important. I just need it to be good enough quality that I'm able to get a clear image of what I'm doing. Let's see. I want it big enough. Okay, it's gonna be about that big. Your character doesn't have ears, but she does have a hat. So let's put it like right there. It'll cut off at the elbow. The hat will be here, and it will cut off at the top of the hat. Alright, so this is the image we're working with today. I do have a timer that will pop up with a credit for the original artist. So when that pops up, if you want to know who drew this, just feel free to click that link and it'll take you right to the page. Oh shit, what happened to the quality? I clicked OK, looked away, looked back, and that shit became HD. HD's nuts. Oh my god, I made a D's nuts joke right as you came in here. Why? Hello, little sis. That was really bad timing. Oh. And continue on with shame, for shame, for shame. I'm bad. Clearly. Now, here's another thing we're going to be doing tonight. Due to my stomach being upset today and me being sick right now, I'm going to have, like, r/Reddit reading videos playing in the background. So if I have to get up and, like, go handle my stomach issues, y'all will have something to listen to. I also really love listening to these because then I'm like, damn, they are the asshole, or damn, they're not the asshole. Like, I really do like listening to these. I will mention the channel I'm listening to, in case anyone wants to, like, listen to them without me constantly talking or constantly talking over them. It's, r/Mr. Redder. And we're gonna go with the Karen thinks she owns my house. After that, I'm just gonna let it play. And as y'all can see, I clearly have issues sleeping.
Hey there, Mr. Redder here. Welcome back to another episode.
Let's go ahead and get started.
Stories. Today we have a special episode for you. A compilation of some of the best entitled people stories we've read over the past year. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a few hours of the most entitled people you've ever heard of.
Now this is an edit commission. This is not a, like, full basic commission. They paid a lot cheaper for this. So basically it comes down to I trace the main frame of what they want, and they pay less. What the hell?
She owns my house.
Why is that
my
not?
siblings and I inherited money from our grandfather when he passed. Our dad was the administrator,
pen am I
and he
using?
was not super strict.
Oh,
and
it's a
let us
smudge
have
pen. No,
access to
duh.
it for practical things.
Let's see,
I convinced
there we
my
go.
dad to let me have some of it early to buy a condo.
Take my
It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
Simps
and
be
the price
like
was amazing and very close
me.
to the
Ree,
university.
you redeemed
After
it.
I
How are
bought
you
it,
gonna be like
my two
Ree?
best friends moved in with me and paid rent, and we lived there until we graduated
Alright, I
grad
need to
school.
figure out which pen I'm gonna
ended up getting married
use.
and moved away. I have rented it
Nope.
on and off, and family has lived there as well while
Nope.
attending university. I have 3 full siblings, and 2 blew through the
This
money
is part
in
of
a few
it, is I had to
years
figure
and
out
made
which
very poor
pen
decisions.
is very
When
similar
lockdown
to the
happened,
style
my
that
brother and
is
sister-in-law
requested.
went through some very hard times. They asked me if they could move into the condo until they could get back on their feet and save money. I agreed, but told them my rules. The master bedroom was mine, and I could show up at any time. I did not want to get any emails from the HOA. We were good.
Color jitter?
I'm now getting divorced and share 50-50 custody
Nope.
with my ex. I have the option of working remotely or going into the office. 1 week a month, when my daughter is with her dad, I've been flying back home and staying at the condo. I have felt a strong desire to be with my friends and want to spend more time with my family.
Alright,
Here's
this
where the
pen
issue
seems
is.
similar, but it's
I
not
sometimes
dark
drop in
enough.
last minute. On a whim, I catch a
I
direct
have to
flight
do like a
back
bunch
home
of
and
strokes
just
to
show
get it
up.
dark enough.
This has started annoying my sister-in-law. She gets even more upset when I invite my friends
That
over
one
and we're
seems
drinking in the living room and
Nice.
acting like college
Ooh,
kids
so let's
again.
check out this.
It came to a head last weekend where she
Ooze?
confronted me about how inconsiderate I was. She said it was rude not to give notice of
What
when
the
I was
what?
showing
Number
up
of lines.
and asked
What
that I
is
let her
that
know a week in
pen?
advance. She also said
What
that she
is
did not want my friends
this?
hanging out more than once a week and they needed to be gone
What?
by 11 p.m. Here is where I might be the jerk. At first
this-
I laughed, and then I got mad. I ripped into her and asked her who the heck she
I
thought
think
she
this
was.
one is
I
pretty
reminded her that
good.
I was the owner of the condo,
but
she had
we're
absolutely
gonna
no
make sure
authority
to get
be
the
laying
best
out
pen.
rules,
So we're gonna look
especially
through
when she was
them.
not paying
Check
for
my
crap.
TikTok.
I told
I
her
can't
if
check
she
it right
ever
now
came
since
to
I'm
me like
streaming,
that
but I
again,
will check it
I would
later.
toss her out on her butt.
Edge
And if my
pen,
brother
no.
felt the same way, he could
Sue
leave with her.
me.
My brother confronted me and told
That
me
one's
that
not bad,
yes,
but it's really
the place was mine
thick.
and they were guests. But as a courtesy, I could give them some notice, and having my friends over was also inconsiderate without notice.
That one seems pretty good.
told
I just
him
gotta figure
no
out the
and no, and he called me a jerk.
thickness.
My friends and I are not loud. Sister-in-law is very religious and is upset because we drink and have
Reddit
very adult
angle.
conversations that offend her. So Reddit, judge me. Am I the jerk?
Now, is this
Edit
pen
for info.
good?
Brother
What do you
and
guys
sister-in-law
think? I
do
need
not
a
pay
second
any of
opinion.
the bills. They are in my name. They have lived in the condo since April of 2020. I would have to serve
think
them
that's
with a
pretty
notice to
good
vacate
pen.
if they refuse to leave on their own. Well, who do you think is the jerk? OP or sister-in-law? Please let
Watercolor,
us know.
acrylic, watercolor. Can I make my
I
own
think
pen?
someone needs to get OP some milk. Entitled Mom tries to steal my pre-selected
How does this
airline
work?
seat. So this happened about 2 years ago, but I just went on a flight recently and was reminded of it. My family had an event that we had to go to that was across the country. A lot
What
of
is
my
that?
family, my mom, dad, sister, and several aunts
What
and uncles and
is
cousins
that?
had already flown out the week before. But I had work and my daughter had
What?
preschool, so we
Use
stayed
all the
behind. And we're
brushes?
going to fly separately.
Oh my
on
god,
the
all the
weekend.
brushes? There's
My
so
aunt
many
had a daughter
different
that she
kinds
couldn't
of
bring when she
brushes.
went,
Why am I
so
just
she
now
asked that I
learning
bring her with
this?
me when I and my daughter flew. My aunt's daughter, Grace,
I don't
was almost
remember
2,
my login.
but she was nonverbal so far. And my daughter, Elori, was a little over 3. I was 18.
Oh shit.
Since
Oh
I was
shit.
flying with 2 toddlers, I wanted
Oh,
to
that should
make
be
sure
fine.
that we had a row to ourselves. I was planning on having Elori in the window, Grace in the middle, and me in the aisle. So I went the slightly more
Invalid!
expensive option of choosing pre-selected seats.
I wanted to
We
use
got to
more
be in
pens for your
priority
stuff.
boarding,
I'm
So
sad.
we boarded before a lot of other passengers. We had checked our
I'll
suitcases,
look
so
into
I
it
just
later.
had my
I guess I'm
backpack
just gonna have to
all the
work with
things
what I
would
already
need.
have.
Jacket, food, toys, my electronics,
this one?
and a diaper bag. So I had Grace strapped to my front, my backpack on my back, the diaper bag in one hand, and Lori's hand in my other.
Where is that?
I was saddled
That one
up.
looks decent.
I got on the plane with no fuss from the girls, but when I got to our designated seats, yep, you guessed it, an entitled mom and her son, probably about 6 or 7, were sitting in our row.
Control.
So our convo went a little like this. Me. Excuse me, these are our seats. We pre-selected them. Entitled Mom.
Oh shit, no,
I'm
never mind, I
sorry,
can't
honey,
use that one.
But it's open seating, and I got here first.
Nope.
You can go
Jeez.
find another seat. Me.
Okay, so I
No,
guess we are gonna
this
have
is
to deal
my
with this
row.
Summy.
I pre-selected
Or
it
Sumi,
online
whatever it
and
is.
paid extra for it. I showed her my ticket. Entitled Mom. Honey, that's not how it works on this airline. And unaccompanied minors need to fly next to the flight attendant
Okay.
anyways. Me.
Yeah,
getting
this one's gonna be the
exasperated
one we're
and
gonna use.
exhausted, still holding a baby and a backpack. I'm an adult, and this is my daughter. Please move, or I will need to get the flight attendant. Go ahead. She will tell you the same thing.
Like I said,
So of course I go
I
get
have
a flight attendant.
like I said,
explain
I
the
don't mind
situation,
this.
And show her my ticket.
Alright.
Enter flight attendant.
I think this is the pen we're gonna
Ma'am,
go with.
She did in fact pre-select this row, so I'm gonna need you to move to another seat. Entitled Mom. Excuse me? She looks
Let's
genuinely
go ahead and
shocked.
start with the
Flight attendant.
pose.
Please move to another seat. We have plenty. Gestures to the back where there are literally still whole rows available. Entitled Mom. No, we got here first, and my son needs to be over the wing. Flight attendant looks slightly annoyed at this, but keeps her customer service voice. Why don't I help you find another seat?
Bleh.
I'm sure your son will be fine.
Bleh.
No, I'm staying
Bleh.
in this seat because I got here first.
Bleh.
At this point, Elori
Ah.
was getting antsy standing in one place, and flight attendant noticed. Sweetie, why don't you take a seat right there while I sort this out? I'll bring you an apple juice in a little bit.
Now, does your character wear
Lori sat down in
gloves?
the
Let
seat
me
on the other side
double
of the row,
check.
the
Looks like a
one
chill
empty
stream.
seat in
Thank
the
you for
aisle of the
that.
plane that was filling up.
I do try to be
Flight
chill.
attendant tells
Okay,
entitled
most of the
Mom,
reference pictures are
"We're
on my
going to have to
phone.
remove you from the aircraft if
So
you
give me
don't move
1
to
second
another
to look
seat."
at DBC's
Entitled
messages
Mom
and
finally
see
gets up at this point
the
and drags a
hands.
kid
'Cause
behind her,
do
pushing
you have
past
gloves?
us,
Okay.
saying angrily at me
Pretty
and
sure.
the
Yeah, I
girls,
was pretty sure you had
"You
gloves. Just
teenagers
wanted to
are
make
so
sure.
entitled." Flight attendant
So
apologizes to me and
when it
helps
comes
me
to the
settle
wrist,
girls
oh
and my
good,
things
she has
into our row.
cufflinks. I can
Flight attendant.
just use
Wonderful
that
job
as a
dealing,
base
by the way.
reference.
You
Nice.
seem like a very responsible big sister.
But I want to
Man,
mark it to make
actually,
sure that I
the older one
remember
is my
she's
daughter.
wearing cuffs.
The younger is my cousin. Flight attendant smiles. Then you are a very good mother. I'll get you an apple juice for the kids. Just make sure you stow it before we take off. Let me know if there's anything else.
I'm
I
not
can
very
do
good
to
at
help.
tracing. So it takes me a little while, which is why I was saying like the first stream is just gonna be me laying out the body.
For context,
Here, let me send you them to your PC. Oh, that'd be very helpful. I
I
forgot that our conversation had happened on my phone, which is why they're still on my phone. Because I didn't send them to my PC. I assumed, I don't know why, I assumed that they were already on my PC, basically.
And if you don't answer, they leave a notice, and you have to go pick it up all the way at the post office. The problem is that my mailman doesn't even try to deliver them. He just leaves the notice without even ringing the doorbell and leaves. I've had to pick up nearly every package I've ordered because of that.
What's the point of ordering shit if you're gonna have to go pick it up?
I was obviously home because of lockdown. Suddenly, I received a call that immediately hung up. It was so fast that my phone didn't even ring, just showed up as a missed call. No doorbell, no nothing. I suspected it was the mailman and ran to the door, only to find him inside the truck, looking straight at me before driving off. Well, I was
I would have put
upset,
spikes
and I
down.
called the post
I would have
office to file a
spiked his
complaint.
car.
I explained the
Thank you
situation.
so much.
The lady told me that I couldn't file a complaint.
For right now, since I don't have them downloaded, because I have a reference option over. Where is my reference?
At first, I just avoided using them again
What is
at
that?
all costs.
Nope.
But the other day, I ordered something and chose a delivery company from the ones listed on the website.
I guess I should log
Apparently,
into this
that
for the
company
next
hires
stream.
the National Post Service to deliver for them here. When I found out, I basically stalked the tracking info for days. It was about 2 weeks late. Until one day, late at night, it said it had arrived in my country, which usually means that the next day it's going to be delivered. The next day, I woke up at 7 a.m. to check.
Alright, so we got the
suspicions were correct.
glove,
It
thankfully.
said, out for delivery.
Chill
I quickly
stream,
grabbed
chaotic
something to
chat.
eat, got in my car, and parked right outside of my house. Then I waited and waited and waited. 6 hours in total, until I finally see the post truck pulling over. I grabbed my phone to record and watched as the mailman opened the door, already with a notice in his hand, and slid it inside my mailbox and turned around. I got out of the car and said, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" He didn't even look at me and said, "Just delivering packages, miss." Then I stood
Why
there
does
as
that
that jerk
suddenly look
grabbed
a
his
lot-
phone to call me and quickly hung up. I
Huh.
smiled as I took my
It's
phone
not
out of my
as
pocket and sarcastically stated,
dark
"Oh,
now.
bummer. You didn't
What
even
happened?
give time to reach for the phone." He literally turned white. He couldn't even speak.
Maybe it's the angle I'm
continued.
drawing. Okay, hold
"Now,
up.
can you give me my
Rotate
package,
angle,
please?"
rotate
He
along is
quickly
turned
opened the truck,
on.
almost tripped, and took out my package. See, wasn't that easier than your whole scheme? He finally manages to say, "Sorry, miss." I turned around and left. He probably thought he got
Alright.
lucky I didn't say anything else. But little did he know that I sent the video to the post office via email attached to my complaint. Well, let's just say I got a new mailman. This one tries to leave 1 second after ringing the doorbell.
What
But
is
at
with
least he
mailman and
Edit.
like not being
Everyone's saying
doing
I should
their
just
one
install
job?
a camera. That would work.
Hand
yes,
package?
But then he would leave with the package,
Good.
and I would have to go pick it up. I wanted my package that day. 2. For everyone saying I got him fired, and that's not something to brag about. Firstly, as much as it isn't his fault, and he's just following orders, he was not nice or professional.
How is that following
He literally saw me
orders?
at the
Hold
door
up,
one
pause.
time and drove away while
He
looking.
didn't deliver the
Secondly, We
package.
don't even know if he was actually fired. I might be wrong, but I think here the regular
The whole
mail
purpose of
carriers
his
are
job is
considered
to
public
deliver said
employees,
package,
which
right?
means
So
they are
therefore
rarely
he's
fired,
not doing his
just
job.
transferred to a different job.
Shotgun.
Have you ever had any issues with the post office? If so, what happened? Please let us know.
There's the cuff of the
Oh,
glove.
don't even get me started on the U.S. Postal Service. Avoid them at all costs. Just a little height difference. Characters: Mom, Dad, and Uncle Ernie. The
Height?
story. I can remember this event clearly. The family laughed about this for years. The year was 1985. Dad just brought home a brand new car, a 1985 Capri Classic. Mom and Dad picked it out together
Capri?
weeks ago, and he just picked it up from the dealership. We went for a drive so they could show off the new car to us kids and some close friends who were excited for my parents. Dad had an old half-ton he drove to work and back, so the car was left with Mom most days. Some days she drove it, but others she didn't need to go anywhere, so it just sat in the
The
driveway.
fuck was that sound?
Now here I will mention there's a huge height difference between Mom and Dad.
Shotgun usually.
Dad was
What?
roughly 198 centimeters.
Are you gonna
6'5",
shoot the post office
and
dude
Mom
for
was
not
roughly
handing you a
154
package?
centimeters,
I feel like
5'2".
that's not
Needless to
how you
say,
handle
the
it.
driver's seat needed to be moved for each of them. Dad got petty one day and pulled one of his little pranks on Mom.
Pause.
He took the car to
So it's saying that okay. So it's saying because of their height difference that the seat needs to be adjusted every time one of them uses the car, right? So I'm the one who picked up the McDonald's earlier that made me like super sick. And the car is currently adjusted as high up and as forward as I could get it. So next time Base goes to drive his car, he's gonna have to readjust his seat all the way down and all the way back. And it's not like you pull a lever and it like instantly goes back. It's like one of those electric ones where you like push a button and it goes. So, would you be surprised? Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if you did. So basically, I think this is funny that I just had to adjust his car. Now we're hearing a story about people having to adjust cars. I don't know. To me, I feel like it's going to be either karma or
unusual if he
something.
Didn't feel like driving his truck. While he had it at work, he welded the driver's seat where he felt comfortable and never said a thing to Mom. Probably 2 or 3 days later, Mom had to go to a doctor's appointment or something like that.
Oh.
When she got in the car and she tried adjusting the seat, it didn't budge.
I'd kill him.
She came in the house and asked me to go look to see if I could figure out what was wrong. As soon as I looked at the track where the seat should slide, I see the weld. I pointed it out to Mom. When Mom got mad, she always looked like she just ate 30 lemons, and she gets quiet. When she went quiet when I was a kid, I knew it was about to go down. She went into her bedroom and grabbed her pillows to put behind her so she could reach the pedals. By the time she got to the appointment, she had the most sour look on her face. We left the appointment, and I thought we would be heading home, but we started in a different direction. I didn't dare ask where. I just sat back for the ride and shut my mouth. After a few kilometers, I realized we were heading to Uncle Ernie's place. This is where we brought Dad's work truck to get fixed, and Mom's uncle. Mom got out of the car and showed Uncle Ernie where Dad welded the seat all the way back. He kind of giggled and asked what she wanted him to do about it. Mom told him to cut off the gas and brake pedals and weld something on them so her feet can reach the pedals with the seat all the way back.
Oh my God.
After some time, measurements and welding.
Isn't this a brand new car in this story?
It wasn't until the next night when Dad was heading to the Legion like he did most nights. Within a minute, he came bursting through the doors, ripping about the pedals. Mom just looked at him with a look of amusement, which made him angrier.
Ooh.
He asked her where she got the idea to mess around with a brand new car. Again, with the same look as before, she answered.
Pause! Hold up. Pause. Where do you get the idea to mess with a brand new car? After he messes with a brand new car? Like what? Hold up. No, that doesn't make sense.
If you didn't weld the seat to your position, but I drive the car more and can't reach the pedals, what am I supposed to do? Now, if you want to take your truck tonight, you can take the car tomorrow and remove the welding from the seat first, so it moves right. Then you can take the extensions off of the pedals.
Ooh.
This is exactly what he did too.
Both of them just fucking with a brand new car.
He always said, "I am not stubborn, and I will fight to the death to prove it." Call the hotel directly, please. So last night, this guy comes in with his whole family. There are 7 of them. He was rude to begin with, but I asked for his name, ID, card, and confirmed that he had 2 reservations. One with a king bed and one with 2 queens.
I'm so annoyed.
Yes.
My freaking pajama pants, because my stomach's swollen, they are super tight on my stomach.
Close to $3,000 for one room. He asks if they can have connecting rooms. I told him I don't have any more available. And unfortunately, the king bed I have is 1 floor down from the 2 queen rooms. This was our first problem. He started getting angry because they are a family and need to be next door or connecting. That always blows my mind too. Why would you not call and confirm these kinds of requests before checking in at 9 p.m. on a Friday night in a downtown hotel in a major city? Whatever. I told him we could move them sometime this week to be closer, but that these were the only rooms I have right now, because we're sold out tonight and tomorrow. He said it was fine, so I processed both check-ins and handed him the keys for both rooms. Me.
Oof,
so this is the room with 2 queen beds, and this is the room with the king bed. Angry Dad. I'm confused. You're saying this one has 2 beds, and this one only has 1?
I'm not sure why the pinky is thicker than the other
what you booked for your 2 reservations.
finger.
Well,
that bothers me.
And you guys told me that both rooms would have a king and 2 queens in both rooms. Me. You called the front desk? Who did you speak to? We don't have any rooms like that. I don't know who the heck I talked to, but they confirmed that when I booked. That's the whole reason we came here. It was someone from your reservations. Me. So, you probably spoke to someone through corporate reservations, but unfortunately, they're not on our property. They don't always know what kinds of rooms we have and what's available. The front desk would have told you that we don't have that kind of room if you called us.
When in doubt,
Angry
12
Dad
gauge.
is getting
Bro.
angrier.
That
He
I don't feel like
specifically
that's
told
how it
me that
goes.
there would be 3 beds in each suite. Me. Well, you booked standard rooms, not a suite.
Bro, nail.
However, even if you did book a suite, our largest ones only have 1 king bed in them. We don't have any rooms.
What
in
is,
this
hold
hotel
up,
that
I'm
have
just
multiple
noticing something
bedrooms.
about this hand.
The most are 2
So
queen
here's
beds in
the
one
second
room.
finger, right? It goes
How
all the way
the
out
heck
there.
are we supposed to fit?
And then boom.
Me. I
Just,
can look
that's
and
the
see if
tip.
there's another room with 2
Why
queen
is
beds
it like
available.
that?
So we did have a 2-queen room available instead of the king.
Can
So
I
said they
fix
could have
that finger?
room. Then the
DTG, or
angry
do you
dad
want it
pulls up
exactly
the
like that?
website on his phone and he shoves it
'Cause
in
I'm
my
just
face,
saying.
going, "See, it says a king and 2
Like,
queens.
that
Say that if you don't have
kind
anything
of
like that.
size
Me.
would be better
Well,
with
sir,
like a little
that's
bit more
just the
finger
tier.
showing.
You can book a king.
I don't know.
or
It goes
2
like
queens.
way out here
See?
and then
Angry Dad looks shocked
see, I
when
can't
point to
remember.
the
It
word
goes like
"or"
way
on
out
his screen.
here and then
Well,
like right there.
Why the heck did
There's like a
someone on the
whole
phone tell me otherwise?
corner of the finger. Fix it? Okay, thank gosh.
Again,
I was so annoyed with that. I was like,
I always advise people to call the hotel directly.
Alright,
because
we're
we
gonna do
not
our
have any
own
rooms
finger
like that.
right here.
I'm sorry you were misinformed. I need a manager
piece of-
here right now. This is ridiculous. Me.
Oh,
There
now
is
that
no
I see
manager
it, I
on
can't
duty right
unsee
now.
it. That
You
bot,
can come
like,
find someone
did
to
you
talk
notice
to
that
in the
before I
morning,
pointed it
but
out?
Unfortunately, a manager will not be able to get you the kind of rooms you're looking for. Nothing like that exists at this hotel. I gave him new keys for his 2 queen rooms, and he goes over to his wife to tell her what's happening. She then starts yelling at me, asking me what they're supposed to do. How are they all going to fit in 4 beds?
Like, how is
I very
that?
calmly explained,
Bro,
I don't know
you
how,
didn't notice it
but
either?
can't
I
cancel
didn't
their
notice it till I
reservation
was
with no
on the
penalty
hand.
If they would like to go somewhere else. But then again, there's nothing I can do tonight other than give them these 2 rooms. They couldn't understand why I couldn't make 2 more reservations so that they could have 4 rooms. I told them again we are completely booked. I guess the concept of sold out wasn't clicking. I told them they could make 2 new reservations.
How to
during the
fix
week,
it
but that we are sold out tomorrow
in
night
4
too.
beds.
So,
Dog
I stayed
pile,
last
bro.
night. I guess I will find out what happened.
Yeah, all
when
the
I go in
kids
today.
sleep on the floor.
One of their teenage sons came to me as the others walked away and thanked me for my help and apologized for his dad's behavior. Clever thief.
That's so
almost
sad when
got away with
kids have to
$1,000
apologize for their
worth of
parents.
merchandise. This happened 3 days ago, and
It's
I'm
like the
still
kids
surprised.
are even
I
aware
was working one of
that the
registers on a
parents
pretty steady
are
day.
out of
Not busy,
control.
but not slow as pond water either. While I rang up a few customers,
Try to make
I
sure that
noticed 2
finger isn't
managers,
too
the head
thick.
cashiers, talking and
I feel like
looking
if I
both
put
concerned
a
and
gap
amused.
between the fingers,
When there
it'll
weren't
look
any customers waiting, I went
like
to satisfy my curiosity when I noticed a cart
Like,
stocked with lots of expensive power tools and batteries for said tools. My first thought was a customer forgot their wallet in their car and went to get it.
yeah,
Happens
there could be
more
like a
often than you
gap
think.
right
Or a
there.
customer went to grab
makes
something else
sense.
before checking out. Well,
Just had
no
to
such
double
thing.
check to make sure it wasn't like
According to the head
weird.
cashier, HC 20,
Cause that other thing was
who was
super
watching
weird.
self-checkout at the time, a male customer came up to scan those items. There was another customer doing the same while head cashier watched. But she noticed something while the guy was scanning things. Now, every time something is scanned for purchase at any register, an image of it appears on the screen. The guy appeared to be scanning the power
Bro,
tools
that's
and
smart.
batteries, but the head cashier noticed everything he had scanned on the screen didn't match the products he had.
Ooh.
The screen showed several lines of the same small bit of PVC pipe, which was worth about $1 and some change, and this guy didn't have any PVC piping in his cart whatsoever. The head cashier noticed
Scammer.
this and quickly gathered the courage to properly approach the customer as he was nearly done. She told him, very professionally, there was an issue with what he was scanning because it didn't match the image on the screen. The customer feigned ignorance, while the head cashier proceeded to scan one of the items he already scanned.
Oof.
And sure enough, the correct item appeared on the screen with the correct triple-digit price tag. She proceeded to remove what he scanned already and scanned every item correctly. Suddenly, the customer is surprised and says he can't afford all that.
Then why did
The
you
head
grab all
cashier
that?
Does the, do you want to save some money by signing up for the company credit
That is
card?
is it just
bit,
me or is that like a
to which he
really long
declines
finger?
and
Like
leaves
boom,
empty-handed. Turns out
joint,
the guy had a little
boom. That's like a
barcode sticker on
super
his
long
for
finger, right?
PVC and
Is it
scanned
just me?
it to make it seem like he was scanning the other items. If the head
God, it's
cashier
annoying
hadn't
being
paid proper
extremely
attention,
tired yet
the dude would have
hyper,
walked out of
bro.
the store with almost $1,000 worth of merchandise. Other managers were informed of the incident, and the assistant store managers gave the head cashier props for handling the situation so well. We have some wayward youths working at our store who have had a bad habit of neglecting their duties in favor of socializing with each other.
All right,
This
in
scenario should
whole,
serve
it
as a
looks
learning experience for
good.
them and future
It's just when
employees
you're
to be more
staring at the
vigilant.
finger
As messed
itself
up as the
that it feels
situation was,
long.
I was
As
impressed
a
that
whole
the
hand,
thieves
it's
split her
fine.
approach.
I was looking at it and I'm
I
just
guess
like,
I'm a
whoop.
sabotaging
It almost looks like
moron.
a hot dog.
The following events
Put a
have
bun
been
on it.
unfolding over the past 2 weeks and finally came to a head about 90 minutes
Just put like a
ago.
little bun
I
around
work
it.
front desk for a small boutique hotel. We cater to an upscale clientele, and my direct supervisors are the owners of the property. 4th of July weekend, I check in one of my regular couples with our holiday weekend romance package, and for once had good news. When the gentleman booked the reservation, he requested their favorite room,
Oh,
712,
that's
which
so
is a junior
sweet.
suite. At the time, all junior suites were booked, so he booked a Premier King and asked if a junior suite became available, would I change room types for them and just leave him a voicemail to let him know. I confirmed the telephone number and asked that if he does not answer, do I have his permission to leave a detailed message with whoever answers or leave a voicemail. He responds that I am at complete and total liberty to do both, and if I just happen to lose the reservation for whoever has booked room 712, he'd appreciate it.
Aw,
To my
this
complete
dude's so
and utter
nice.
shock, we received a few cancellations, including a junior suite, so I moved a few people around, locked them into 712, and left the voicemail with the good news. Told the couple the good news at check-in and asked him if he received the voicemail. He said he did not, but has been traveling for work and had not been in the office, so it will be waiting for him when he gets back to work after vacation. Thanked me for making the switch and calling. So off
I
to
don't
the room
understand
they
what's
went.
wrong in this story.
The following Friday, the owner called me into his office. With him in the office is a lawyer with a court order for security cam footage and receipts for certain dates. The lawyer is joined by his client. I guessed her to be in her late 50s, well-dressed with a smile that screams loving grandma. Boss man and lawyer leave me to pull up the receipts. Front desk, F&B, and minibar. They want it all as they
Naked dinosaur. Oh my gosh.
As
Yo,
I pull up
Auto
the
Dad
receipts,
hitting
this
it with
poor
the
lady looks sad by the
69.
minute.
Welcome
Each
to the
page
art
printed
edit
seems to break her
commission.
heart. I offer her water or coffee. She asks if we have tea or
Wait,
shot
hold up.
whiskey.
What broke her heart?
I
Is this
obliged with
is this
both.
the lady from the reservation? Oh shit. The lawyer is her divorce attorney? Hold
And
up.
the
I
lawyer
missed
leave me
something.
to pull up the
Something's going on.
receipts.
I was wondering why
Front
this
desk,
story was on
F&B,
this.
and minibar. They want it all as they go play with the security footage. As I print up each receipt, this poor lady looks sadder by the minute.
Oh.
Each page printed seems to break her heart.
Oh
I offer her
no.
water or coffee. She asks if we have tea or a shot of whiskey. I
Damn.
oblige with both and a blueberry muffin. She then starts with her story. The lawyer is her divorce attorney, and if I didn't guess sooner, the gentleman I checked into room 712 was her husband, and the woman he checked in with at that time and all the times prior was not her.
Oh
Her husband had
shit.
been traveling for work for almost a month, was due back home in about a week. She was very upset he was gone for the holiday weekend, especially since her birthday was the 3rd.
Oh
He said he promised
shit.
to make it up to her. So that voicemail I left was on their home answering machine.
Oh
She said she thought it was
shit.
him surprising her. She packed a bag and waited for him to arrive to pick her up. And of course, he never did. She thought maybe the message was a mistake, so she called the hotel and asked for her husband's room.
Oh.
And sure enough, he picked up the phone in his room.
Oh
She laughed
shit.
without uttering a word. Then she researched the best, most expensive divorce attorneys in her area and was in that office first thing after the holiday weekend.
Oh
And that was after she
shit.
changed the locks on her house, changed banking passwords, and canceled a few credit cards. From what she told me, she and her husband were high school sweethearts. She worked
Oh,
2 jobs while also
shit.
taking classes at a local junior college after high school to pay for her husband to attend college all the way through to his master's. Was a stay-at-home mom for their 3 kids.
I'd have to
so
kill.
he could concentrate on his career. However, before they married, she asked for an ironclad prenup. She had heard so many horror stories of men becoming successful and cheating on their wives, leaving them for their secretaries, taking the home and family income with them. And she said she
Oh,
was not going to be one of those
shit.
abandoned wives. So in their prenup, there was an infidelity clause. Proven infidelity means she got the house, the boat.
The immediate beginning of the story, I was like, this is so sweet. He's like booking an anniversary trip or something. And First of all, not only is he cheating on his wife, but On her birthday? Like, around her birthday, bro, she was sitting, waiting with her bags packed, excited. I would have to kill. I would have to kill, castrate. No, castrate, kill, and carry out a whole satanic ritual. That is not okay. That's so messed up.
The summer house, half his 401k, and
shit.
a monthly alimony payment. And between the room charges, F&B receipts,
The fuck is an
and
alimony?
certain things purchased from the minibar, I think she has proven that beyond a reasonable doubt. And about 90 minutes ago, I answered the phone to be called every name you can think of, telling me I was going to be fired, that he was going to sue the hotel because I'm too big of an idiot to call a correct phone number. Turns out, the cheating jerk accidentally gave me permission to confirm the room upgrade to the wrong telephone number. Thought he gave his office number, and instead, he gave his home telephone.
Oh my god, how do you
The jerk
fucking
went so
make
far
that
as to say
mistake?
He looked up his house telephone number just to sabotage him. That was until Boss Man pulled up the recording of the telephone call where he made the reservation, where I confirmed the telephone number, which was in fact his home telephone
Oh
number.
my god, how do you do
Followed by his
this
absolute consent to
to
leave a detailed
yourself?
message. After listening to said recording, the cheating jerk uttered a single "oh" and hung up on us.
I
He
don't.
came home and found the locks changed. You want your coffee hot? Even hotter? How about we curdle the milk for you? This happened a few years ago when I was first
How the
starting
fuck are you gonna
hospitality.
cheat on a
This was the
wife
best intro I ever
with
got
that
to what
exact
hospitality
kind
is
of
really like.
prenup
It was the afternoon,
and be
and my
stupid
boss was
enough
already in a cranky
to
mood
give out your
because he was
damn
teaching a
home
17-year-old
number?
how to use the coffee machine, which would drive anyone.
That whole
A
situation
woman
is
came in
just so
and
stupid.
ordered a dine-in coffee extra hot.
I wonder who the other fucking bitch was. Was that like his secretary?
And I made the
Secretary?
milk to
His
75 degrees Celsius.
secretary?
For those who don't know, milk is steamed to around 65 Celsius, 149 degrees Fahrenheit. So this should have been fine. She came back.
I steamed mine to
I
150.
asked for extra hot, and this is
Just
the
that 1
woman
degree
best.
more.
I'm brand new at this, so my boss assumes I've made a mistake. I remake the coffee, showing him it's now at 80 degrees Celsius, 176 degrees Fahrenheit. He tried a bit, edit, by pouring the milk into a separate first, burned his mouth, and confirmed the thermometer was fine. I took it out to her and said, sorry, and came back.
Alright, so we got the head shape, hand shape. We need to work on the back of the head, which
Again, the woman
is gonna
comes
come
back.
out to like a
I
weird,
come
and
here all the
then
time, and I have never been so
arm,
disappointed, or something to that effect, and storms back to her
then
table.
chest.
My boss and I are
So
really
this is gonna be
confused at
fun to
this
do
point.
the way it
He
fades
remakes
out. I
it
think it's super
again.
cute.
She brings it back again.
Alimony
and
is
begins to yell at
payment
me,
from the
full
divorce
Karen
party
style.
to the other.
My boss has gone to the toilet. at
Similar to
this point.
child
I'm
support.
17, brand new to customer
Wait,
facing
monthly
jobs,
alimony.
and trembling and
So, wait, hold up.
Finally, my boss walks
Pause.
in, yanks the cup from her hand, puts it under the
Does that mean this dude cheated on a woman who has a prenup to where if he cheats on her, he basically owes her monthly money for the rest of his damn life? Like, when does that stop? When does the alimony stop? Because, first of all, how is he going to sign that prenup? Like, did he read it? Did he read any of it? Because he's clearly not smart enough to realize he got caught easily. Like, he wasn't smart enough to, like, hide it or anything, right? Like, says ex-husband has to pay ex-wife $5,000 each month, X amount of times. Oh, so it's a certain amount of times. Okay, that makes more sense, because I was about to say, hell, he is extra stupid. First of all, they said something about, like, a summer house, a boat, house, all that shit. He lost it all. On top of that, he has to pay a damn alimony. She had a ironclad fucking prenup. Damn. I've not seen him married, much less divorces. I have no idea either. I'm pretty sure my parents divorced the crackhead way. So, I don't know how it legally works.
Milk is boiling over the cup, all over the countertop,
Alright,
and
we're gonna
onto
work
the
on the
floor. He
arms.
just stares at her. He hands it back to her without ever breaking eye contact. Milk curdled, half a cup of liquid missing, and says, "There, it's hot." I made sure of it. She was mortified. I was horrified. She sat at her table, too stunned to complain, and drank the coffee in
Okay,
peace.
let me see real
He went to the
fast
kitchen to tell the chef,
what the
and they
arms
cracked up laughing.
look like.
That boss was the best.
That's not pretty.
and
That's
worst
not too
boss I've ever
baggy.
had. One time we were overbooked and had to cancel the most recent reservation. They called him a name, so he set up their tablecloth and utensils on the ground outside the restaurant and sent them a picture confirming their booking. If you lie about the number of people in your party to get set faster, you deserve to be kicked out. Today I worked a double, server in the morning and expo for the evening shift. The guy that was taking over my section agreed to take a 17 top as I was finishing cleaning my section and I began helping him set up.
17 is a lot of people.
We're all starting to walk over and I head to the back, clock out and then back in and put on my apron and get to work pulling food. Next thing I know, the server that took over for me is coming back and asking me how many the host said was in the party. I confirm it was 17, and he tells me that around 28 people are all sitting themselves in closed and
17,
reserved tables
18, 19,
with them
20.
talking about more people who are on the way. When my manager
It's
makes
like,
her
holy
way over
shit,
to
that's
the
like
party,
a
she
lot
asks them
more.
why they lied about the amount of people. They make up some crappy excuse saying, well, there were 17 people here, but it's gonna be around 32 total.
Holy
She told
shit.
them that they couldn't order their food until the majority of the screen was cleared, so that the kitchen wouldn't be swamped.
I'm trying to make
and
it
that the
where
rest
it's
of
not
the
as
people had to
baggy,
sit
because
in
this,
different
as you can see
sections,
from like
because
right
one server
here
couldn't handle
and
that
like
many
right
people
here
because they lied.
is a very
It was
baggy
for a girl's
sleeve, so
17th
it's,
birthday party, and the mom
I
got
need to make
very
it
mad and
skinnier
started
because your
yelling at my
character's
manager,
outfit is not
saying
as
this
baggy.
wasn't a big deal, and other people could wait because it was her daughter's birthday. My manager told them that they were being loud and disturbing the other guests, and that they would need to leave if they kept it up. Suddenly, the whole party got loud, and there was so much arguing and yelling, so my manager told them to leave. At first they stayed and kept calling other servers to get them drinks and take their order, but my manager told them to leave or they'd call the police. They then decided to cut the cake and obnoxiously yelled the happy birthday song and like 6 different versions for 10 minutes. When my manager walks over and informs them that the police are on their way, they start threatening her and telling her and other staff members to meet them outside. Once they hear the sirens, they all take off like a bat out of heck. Funny thing was, it was actually officers going somewhere else for a different call. When the police do get here and talk to the manager and get the phone number of one of the members that had given it at the
Oh my
host's
God.
stand and watch the tapes, hopefully they get some legal consequences. My Karen sister is pregnant
So
with my ex,
so many
and I'm
people
supposed
are
to be
really
excited.
stupid. Like, why would
Okay,
you act
so
like
it's
that in a
not that
public
I,
setting where you
female
first of all gave your
26,
damn
can't
number?
stand kids, but
Like,
you'd think that if you spoke to my
You can be
family.
identified by
My
your number.
parents and
You
the
pay
rest
a
of my
bill
family are going
connecting
insane
your
over
name
my
to your
sister
damn number.
Sophia's pregnancy. It's dominating every discussion and every family get-together. I won't lie, this has been getting to me. Like, I'm not saying it's not a blessing, but oh my goodness, I'm bored of talking about baby showers, baby names, clothes, etc.
That's understandable.
So I just kind of turn off when it comes up now. I'm trying to be polite, but it's especially upsetting because the father of my future nephew or niece is the guy that I was, and might still be, I don't know anymore, really in love with. Luke
Oh, I thought she was
is
gonna say like
someone I
engaged
dated
to,
first,
or like
back in
something.
my final year of
I was like,
university. Luke is also from my home
Or
city
dating.
too, but we hadn't met prior. We dated a few months before he decided that we worked better as friends.
oh,
This hurt, but I pushed through it, and we got a good friendship out of it. So when we graduated, we both went back home, and he spent pretty much the entire summer at ours because he has a difficult relationship with his father. That's when Luke and Sophia got together. Yet, despite all this history between Luke and I, no one in my family seems to think this whole experience might be a little strange for me. I won't
oh,
lie. When I saw him kissing my sister, drunk, at a party, I kind of thought...
that's so fucked
jerk.
up. I
It's
wouldn't
okay.
ever
It won't
even think
last.
of
Safe to say,
like
it's lasted.
considering
But whatever,
someone in my
You have to
family
get over
dating
stuff
someone
like
else's
this,
in my
and I
family's
am.
ex to be
But I'm not a
normal
fountain of enthusiasm
or
with
even
it either.
comfortable for them.
The drama comes when my mom asked me if I could plan the baby
Like if my
shower, and
sister
I told her,
dated my
well,
other
basically
sister's
because I
ex,
personally disagree with them
I feel
trying
like
to
that would be
hold one
really
during
fucking
lockdown
awkward.
Anyway, that I have a life outside of this whole thing and I'm busy. I didn't say it, but it also feels weird for me to be so involved with my feelings being the mess that they are. I just told her that she could do it if she wanted. It's her grandchild, and that makes more sense than me doing it. But my mom got upset with me and my tone and accused me of being unsupportive of my sister's happiness this whole time, and even being selfish for not wanting to be a part of it more. And I wasn't going to take that because I've
That's
tried
fucked
really
up.
hard to be mature over this. I told her she was being overbearing with it, and not everyone has to do everything she wants all the time, and basically told her off for making a drama out of nothing. But now she's upset with me, and I'm starting to feel bad. Am I the jerk? My crazy ex showed up at the restaurant tonight and got arrested.
Oh my
I had a
god.
crazy partner well over a year ago. We broke up, restraining order, stopped hearing from him. Rumor was he had gone to jail for something else. That part of my life
There's
was
a lot
over
of
and done with.
relationship
Until
videos
tonight,
right
when
now,
he showed
or
up at
not
my
videos,
restaurant. He's quite a
relationship
bit older
stories
than me,
currently.
so I had the advantage when I was in a bad place. It took a long time to convince myself he was 100% at fault. He showed up right in the middle of the dinner rush. Of course, he had to pick a night when a large group of girls I know from school were at a centrally located table.
This is a high school
And
student?
the place isn't even that big to begin with. I spotted him right away. I think I saw him subconsciously before I even fully realized it, because something felt chillingly off a few minutes before I first spotted him. We're still cutting back on staff to recoup lost income during lockdown, so I was the only one out on the floor.
Ooh.
At first, I hoped maybe it was a coincidence, that he didn't realize I worked there, so he would just eat and leave. But no, he was drunkenly asking random patrons where to find me by name almost immediately. I wanted so desperately to ignore it and have him just leave of his own accord, because these girls from school were right there, and I did not want to be part of a big scene. But it became evident that he was not lucid.
I'm
Maybe
going to
something
take a
stronger than
second
just the
to
booze, and his behavior was
go deal with
escalating
my
fast.
stomach.
Could not be ignored.
So tell me
I
what
went back
happens
and let
in the
the owner know
story,
what was going on,
because
but
I'm
just
gonna leave
didn't
it playing.
feel
That way you
totally
guys have something to
comfortable
listen
sharing the
to.
whole backstory with him.
I'll be
When
right
things first turned sour in the
back.
relationship, news got out to my family and friends before I was ready to discuss it, and that fiasco is still an open sore. So I just told the owner.
I'm gonna zoom out of this so we can see a good
And I know him to be violent, so I was going to call the
This is
police.
how much I have done
The owner
so
said
far.
no
It is
problem.
not a
He
lot.
would call, and
Takes
even
a while
offered
to get
tag
the
me out
actual
and handle
like
my tables until the guy left.
pose
I didn't wanna
and
let this
everything
guy
like
chase me out
matched
of my
up.
own job or
So
stop me from
it
living
doesn't
my
look
life
like a
ever
lot.
again. Even
It
just for a
feels
few
like a
minutes.
lot, but
And our owner
it
is a
isn't
much
a
older
lot.
guy
Like
and
the
not so
time
great
wise.
health.
So
The
I'm gonna be
restaurant is
right
one of the
back.
only
You guys
places
enjoy
his wife
staring
lets him
at
go
that and
after
listening to
lockdown.
that. Tell me what
And
goes
even
on.
still, he has to stay in his office when it's busy. I kept working, and the owner came and sat at the bar, keeping an eye out on my ex. He was calling out my name and saying some pretty rude things and trying to get within arm's reach. The owner is pretty paternal towards me. I've worked in this place a long time, and we're a pretty small staff, so he wasted no time chesting up to this guy and telling him, "Hey, the police have already been called. Do yourself a favor and get out." But my ex took that as a challenge and shoved this brittle old man hard. Patrons stepped in right away because it was so obviously not a fair fight between this big young guy and a little old man. But my ex can be scary, and, understandably, no one was considering physically confronting him or getting between him and the owner or anything like that. So he was undeterred. He started to scream at me, demanding I leave with him, and he tried to run at me. The line cooks heard the commotion going on, and a couple came out to see what the trouble was. Most of our cooks are scrappy, but small, and I think despite their egos, they knew from one look they'd need reinforcements. It had only been about 5 to 10 minutes since we'd called the police, and in this busy city area, it takes them 20 minutes minimum to respond to anything that isn't imminently life-threatening. And all the owner had known to tell 911 at the time he called was we had a drunk and belligerent patron who might become violent. So we were definitely low on the priorities list. The line cooks went back and got one of my only real sort of work friends, coincidentally also the biggest guy on staff, Lenny. Lenny moonlights with an industrial moving company, so stays in superb shape, and is also super heavy. So he's become kind of our de facto security ever since everyone forgot how to act in a restaurant during lockdown. I really don't know too much about where he comes from, but I know it's very difficult to rattle him. So Lenny comes out and quickly assesses the situation. Someone tells him what my ex did to our poor sweet owner, and Lenny wastes no time. He tells this guy, "You're leaving. You're leaving on your own, or," with the silence implying what the alternative was. At this time, all Lenny knew was some drunk guy showed up and shoved our boss, who we're all fond of. So my ex told him some slurred drunken crap I couldn't really understand, but it was clear from his tone that it was not complimentary. Lenny went up to escort him out, and my ex freaks out and tries to break the nearest glass in reach to use it as a weapon. Fortunately, the nearest glassware was a thick beer mug, and he couldn't break it. Lenny shrugged this off as a sloppy drunk overestimating himself and tried to go in and get him in some kind of an armbar, but the owner warned him. "Hold off. Tamira says he gets violent. Be careful." Lenny didn't know who this was yet, so he was like, "This guy put his hands on her," and was ready to charge him. But the owner's like, no, no, it's her old boyfriend. Lenny doesn't know the whole story with my ex. No one at work does. But he does know more than anyone else there. So instantly put together who he was dealing with. Without even hesitating, Lenny swung at him like a piñata. My ex's lights were out. He dropped onto the floor. A couple of patrons who had wanted to get involved but didn't see an opening were emboldened to step in now that my ex was unconscious and got on top of him to make sure he wouldn't be able to leap back up when he regained consciousness, which is good because he was back almost immediately. Still groggy, but more than able to have gotten up and retaliated had these men not stepped in. Someone else was behind the bar looking for something they could use to tie his hands together with. He found a roll of packing tape, and right in the nick of time, because my ex was quickly getting his strength back and really fighting the guys restraining him. Lenny wanted to go launch back in on him, but the owner was talking him down, insisting it wasn't worth it. The Good Samaritans were trying to tape up his hands and feet, but the roll was nearly out, so it wasn't doing much. I was watching the whole situation unfold from behind the bar, just mesmerized and paralyzed with fear, almost like an out-of-body experience. Because it sounds like a long time when describing it, but at real-life speed, this entire encounter from the time the owner came out to confront him couldn't have been more than 3 or 5 minutes. The police got there not too long after they had tried to tape him. It took 3 people to hold him down, one of whom got socked in the process, but they kept him secured until the cops got there. The police arrested him. My restraining order expired a year after it was granted, but I'm guessing they got him for the assault or the disorderly conduct or something. And as they were cuffing him and going through the whole process, he was screaming that someone had assaulted him and he should be arrested as well. He was visibly injured, so the cops couldn't ignore that. They asked who had assaulted him, and he pointed at Lenny. One of the patrons who had helped restrain my ex started to speak up, saying, "No, no, look, he did it in self-defense. This man was out of control." But his buddy cut him off and basically said, "This guy was banged up when he walked in. I've been here the whole time and I didn't see anything." Then his friend, who was initially offering Lenny a cover of self-defense, realized the play and backtracked, saying, Yeah, we restrained him to defend ourselves, but nobody actually hit him. That other guy just works here." Which was a relief, because Lenny is a gentle giant, but he's also kind of a mystery, so for all I know, he has priors that would have made proving self-defense difficult. The police dragged my ex out and took him in. I went home at that point, but I learned from the owner at the end of service that they also impounded the motorcycle he showed up on. That was a nice bonus. So it was all very scary. I'm glad to know my coworkers and customers have my back, but I still think I'll take a couple days off. Ultimately, just feeling grateful that I'm finally in a place where the good people in my life far outnumber the bad. Have you ever had to deal with a crazy ex? If so, what did you do about them? Please let us know. I would just sick Reddit boy on them. One bop with that big ol' head of his and it's lights out, boyo. Entitled mom complains about hotel room,
Also,
not realizing her
I was
husband
bored
had
while I was in
cheated.
there, so I
One
put a
day in
safety
January, I
pin
had a
through
phone
my
call.
palm.
A man wanting to book a room for
Boom.
June, quite far in advance. However, he wants to book for a Saturday night when there's an event in town.
Yeah,
So
I take
we
them
had
with a
only
grain of
2
salt. It's
rooms
more like an
left. The
entertainment
cheapest
story
room
kind
in
of
the
thing.
hotel, room 8. It's a tiny room with only a small double bed and a bathtub and no shower. 80 pounds per
Oh,
night.
look at my
The most
safety
expensive room in
pin.
the hotel, room 7. It's very
I
spacious
put it
with
in
a
my
king-size
through my
bed, a
skin,
shower, and
so
a
it's like a
jacuzzi-style tub. 120 pounds per
piercing.
night. So I told the man that we had only
I was
these
bored.
2 rooms left. Me. We have room 8 available, which is 80
Alright.
pounds per night. Or room 7, which is 120 pounds per night.
Why?
Man,
Because I saw it on
I
the
think we'd
ground
better have room 8.
next to
Me.
said toilet,
Okay,
and
but
I was
just to
like,
let
you know what?
The reason
I'ma
room
fucking
8
do
is
it.
cheaper is
So I
because
did
it's
it.
quite small. The bed is only a small double, and there's only a bath, no shower. Is that okay with you? Man. Yes, that'll have to do. I'm not paying 120 pounds a night. That's extortionate. So I booked him and his wife in for room 8.
Ooh,
Months later,
a
I'd
booking.
completely forgotten about all of this. I'm working the afternoon shift one day when a man and his wife check into room 8. About 10 minutes after I checked them in, they storm downstairs to the front desk and don't look happy at all. The wife starts going off on me about how the room is tiny, the bed is tiny, and there's not even a shower. This is ridiculous. It's not what she expected at all. The man is nodding along
You?
fervently
Bro,
behind her,
you
saying
no
that it's
one, you haven't done this
unacceptable. He
before?
wants a better room for his lovely wife. She deserves better than this, etc. Me. I'm
Who's
so sorry you're
dirty?
unsatisfied. Did you book over the phone? Him.
Diseased. What?
Me. Okay, I'm not sure who booked you in, but all of our staff
Diseased.
know that when they book a guest into room 8,
Wait, was I
they
not
have to
listening to the
explain
last
that
story?
it's a
Did something
small
gross
room
happen?
with only a bath. Did they not explain that to you? Him shouting, "No, they didn't. I asked for a superior room. Only the best for my wife. Not this pathetic little room. I can't believe you put us in here. It's just not acceptable. We deserve a discount.
Ooh.
Yada yada yada."
I see what's happening.
Unfortunately, by this point, all the other
He booked a
rooms were fully
shitty
booked,
room
so they
to
had
complain
no
and
choice
get a
but to
better
stay in
room.
room 8. They opted to stay because all of the other hotels in town were full, but they were both fuming at me. They went back up to their rooms, and I went back into the office and went on the booking system. I looked at the booking and found the note that I had made months ago. That's when it all came flooding back to me. When they came down for dinner,
It's a
I had the pleasure
scam.
of serving them at the bar. They still didn't look happy. Me. I've had a look through our records, and I was the one who booked your room back in January. Him. Oh, did you? Me. Yes, I just found the note I made on your booking. At the time, I offered you our basic room or our luxury room because they were the only two available. Do you remember that, sir? Him. Silence. Me.
Ooh.
I explained to you that room 8 was quite small.
Oh,
and had
found it
no
by the
shower, whereas room
It was like
7
on like
was
counter
spacious
near
with a
the
king-size
toilet.
bed, a shower,
It's
and
like
a jacuzzi bath.
Just
But you
the
specifically chose
it was
the
by the
basic room
toilet, but
over our
yes,
luxury room.
on a
You
counter.
said you weren't willing to pay
I should have
the extra
specified that.
£40.
I realize
You
now.
called it extortionate.
My
Do
mistake.
you remember now? Him and his wife are both silent, but the wife is staring daggers at her husband.
Oh,
Clearly,
he
the man has been
lied.
telling me off to his wife, claiming that he asked for a luxury room when really he cheaped out on purpose. I
Oh
leave the bar to
shit.
go and do something else after serving them, and I can hear her chewing him out all the way over from the office. When I returned to serve them their food, she was as sweet as pie to me and apologetic. He didn't say another word to me for their entire visit. He was definitely in the doghouse.
Oh
Justice.
shit.
Edit. To all the people insinuating I'm a horrible person for ruining this guest's experience by not letting him walk all over me, kindly sit and swivel. I'm a human, not a doormat. He messed up his own day by lying to his wife and blaming me.
Right?
Throw more fuel on the fire? Got it. When I was younger, my cousins and I would always go and hang out at each other's places. All of our parents were in very rural areas. To give you an idea of how rural, our nearest neighbor was over a mile away. For my cousin, this was elevated to about 10 miles.
Ooh,
We
damn.
did what any other teens would do in the woods, whatever we wanted to. For this story, I was at my cousin's place, and we were having a bonfire. It was a little damp, as it had just rained, but his dad was fairly stubborn and had decided that he was going to burn some brush, regardless
done
of how
that.
long it was going to take him, and that we,
Wet-ass
my
brush
cousin
takes
and I,
forever.
were just there to help him. Neither of us wanted to be out there, but my uncle insisted that we couldn't do anything else until all the brush was burned, and we helped him put away all of his equipment,
Damn it.
chainsaw, log splitter, etc. He tried to start the fire, and after about 30 minutes, finally got it to start. We tended the fire and got it to where it wasn't going to go out before he decided to leave us in charge before going to get some more brush.
Yes, leave children
To keep
in
the fire
charge of
manageable,
fire.
We had the foresight to separate all of the brush in that area into multiple separate piles, no bigger than about 2 feet high and about 3 feet wide. As he didn't want the fire to go out, he told us that if it started to burn down, to add more fuel to the fire to keep it going. As he walked away,
Does
my
it-
cousin eyed
to make-
the 10-gallon red
Oh,
plastic
it makes
container
you
full of
gag to watch
gasoline
people do
before
that?
returning a wicked little grin at me. I just smiled back.
Flamethrower? Oh my god, I want a flamethrower.
No clue what he was thinking. Malicious compliance. After a little while, the fire had burned down a little to where we could add more branches, but instead, my cousin grabbed the whole canister of gas and chucked it, more like dropped it, into the middle of the fire.
Oh
I stared
shit.
wide-eyed as my cousin came back and said, "We should back up." Me. "What are you, cousin?" He said to add more fuel, so I did. I looked at the canister, still sealed, and watched as the flames danced as they ignited the residual gasoline around the pour spot. Part of me thought,
Oh,
I
fuck.
should pull that out. But another part of me thought, this is going to be awesome. As I
Which
tried
part
to
of you would
figure out
think
what
to get the
do,
fuck back?
I heard the screen door to the house slam shut and realized my cousin had left me. I thought, oh no, if my uncle comes back,
How
he's
old
going
is
to
this
blame me
kid?
for this. I didn't have to think about it for long. I heard the screen door slam again, and my cousin emerged from the house with his .22. He walked up next to me, aimed at the canister, and said, "This is going to be amazing."
Oh
A bullet
no.
flew and pierced the canister on the highest part of it to allow the fumes to escape. For those who have never seen a fireball that comes from an exploding canister of gasoline,
Sounds like
it is
some shit
absolutely
Pineapple would do.
glorious. For those who are standing back far enough, which we were not. I was only
They
able
did.
to watch for a very minimal amount of time before the heat and force of the blast caused me to step back and trip over the chainsaw and land smack on my back in a pile of brush. My cousin ended up tripping and rolling down the hill about 30 feet before he ended up in a lake at the bottom.
Ooh,
It was
shit.
hard to tell how high the fireball made it, but it was at least 100 feet, because no sooner did my cousin drag his soaking wet self back up to the top of the hill than his dad, my uncle,
Oh,
flew
fuck.
down the little trail on the quad screaming at us. Uncle, what the heck was that? Cousin, I threw on more fuel like you told me to, pointing to the exploded and still on fire shrapnel.
Well, at
that
least
used to
he
be the
admitted he did
gasoline
it.
Canister. Uncle, I didn't tell you to use gasoline. Cousin, you said fuel. I used fuel. Uncle, get the heck out
That's
of here,
sass.
both of you. So we went inside. My cousin changed. I pulled the prickles out of my clothes, and we started playing video games. Apparently, my uncle had called my grandparents to come get me, though, because no longer than an hour had passed after we blew up the fire, then they showed up to
Blew
take
up
me home.
the fire.
On the way home, my grandpa asked how it was. I said cool, and he told me, in no uncertain terms, that I was never to do that at his place. Fallout.
Oh,
I
fuck.
was never allowed back over to their house ever again.
Cool, don't do it at my house.
Have you ever done something really stupid that turned out to be really fun? Please let us know. Pool guy.
Something
only wants to
stupid
maintain
that
the
turns out
water.
to be really fun.
Fine, I'll give you water to maintain. So my fiance and I have a pool company that comes to our house once a week. He happens to be related to my fiance's best friend, but we still pay him his rate because we wanted to support his business. He's been maintaining our pool for, I want to say, a little over a year now, and we haven't had any issues. He actually helped us get the parts we needed to fix a lot of things in our pool.
Ace, if you
just
have
above at
flamethrower.
cost.
Wait, what?
He's been an all-around awesome guy.
I will drive and
Not sure
take it
what's
away.
changed,
What?
But the last couple of months, I've noticed if I don't sit outside and converse with him, he generally will come in, skim the
Hold
pool,
up,
empty the
pause.
basket,
You
throw some
think
chlorine
that
tabs in the
you could
float,
take it away
and
from
leave in
me?
a matter
First of
of
all,
minutes.
Base would take it away
And
from me
this would be
first
fine.
if I was being
However,
irresponsible
now that
with
we're
it.
getting deeper into the hot
Let's be
summer,
honest here.
We've noticed a slow growth
Second of all,
black
we're about to buy
algae
it
growing in
property.
some of the
Not
cracks
property, like a
and along
house.
the tile.
Maybe property.
Granted, our pool is a
I
little
will
on
have
the older side.
flamethrower on
It's
my
definitely
property.
overdue for resurfacing. But the
It's how I'm
algae
gonna
can easily be
handle
scrubbed off
the
when it
yard
starts
work.
to get noticed. You would think that the pool guy would do this at some point. He is not. I've noticed these last couple of months, he's been doing the absolute bare minimum to maintain the water. And because of the algae, by the 6th day after, the pool is already starting to get green and cloudy. And then he just puts more chlorine in it.
Aren't they
clear the
supposed to
water, and then
vacuum
goes on
the
his way.
pools with like a
Well,
pool
my
vacuum
daughter's birthday
thing?
is coming up soon, and we intend
Not just
to have a pool
throw a few
party.
tablets
But
in?
even at its clearest,
Anyone can do
the
that.
pool
Fuck,
had
I
so
could do
much black
that.
algae built up that neither of the kids even want to swim in it anymore. So with 2 more pool guy days to go before the party, I decide the day beforehand to scrub the absolute heck out of the tiles, the walls, and the cracks, which lifts it all to the surface and floats it to the water. About 30 minutes in, the water is so green,
Ugh.
gross, and cloudy, you can't even see the bottom.
Oh.
By the next
ugh.
day, which was yesterday, when he was scheduled to come do his weekly drop-by, the pool almost looked like a swamp. I watched him through the window.
Now,
nearby
DBC, are
and
you
saw
wanting
the
this same
absolute
expression
disappointment
too?
as he shook his head
Like
and
the
began to skim
kitty
the
cat-ish
surface, which I had
mouth
already done, so there wasn't much. And then
and
proceeded to dump
the
in
like little
chemicals.
dot nose?
The
Or are you
amount
wanting
of
me to
different
do like my
chemicals
own
I
face
watched
on
him
it?
pour in the water cost him more than
Yeah.
what we pay him for the
Oh
whole
hell yeah.
month.
Okay, so you
And
see, yeah,
now,
okay.
here I am,
I can do
the
that.
next morning,
Let me go ahead
I'm
and do the
sitting happily beside the clear pool, drinking my coffee, planning where I'm going to put the decorations for the party. Am I the jerk for being rude and mean at a wedding and leaving early? I was asked to be a member of the wedding party.
The face
Despite
that's on it.
this,
I, yeah,
was
yeah,
the
got
only
it.
person,
I shall.
not only in the wedding party, but also at the ceremony, who wasn't allowed to have a +1. This was an outdoor wedding with unlimited seating, and these people don't give a hoot about lockdown, so it wasn't about that. I was told it was because my relationship wasn't serious enough.
Maybe they
Despite us
just
being
don't
together
like
for a
your
year,
girlfriend.
that only engaged or married couples were invited, and that they didn't want some random guy in their wedding
Oh,
pictures,
boyfriend.
who I might not even be with later in the future. They don't want to have to look at some random guy in their pictures, even though he wouldn't have been in any of the posed pictures at all. Maybe just in the background of crowd shots. There have been no conflicts between them and my boyfriend, and he's a nice and mild-mannered guy who
No
gets along with
conflicts.
everyone.
Well, that's
So I don't
weird.
think it was about him personally.
I thought maybe they had
I get
beef.
to the ceremony and find out that literally everyone has a +1. Not just married couples, but there are couples there who have been dating for less time than me. This is when I started feeling surly. I smiled and played my part during the ceremony, but inside I was very surly and angry. We then got to the reception, which had way more people than the ceremony.
Oof.
This is where all the more distant friends were invited, and everyone there had a +1. I was literally placed
I
at
would
a
have
table
literally
with
gone
one
up to the
single
couple and
person,
been like,
and
so what's
everyone
up
else at the table was a couple.
with this?
Some at the table were other members of the wedding party, but others were random distant acquaintances. People started asking me where my boyfriend was, and I said I was told he wasn't invited. They asked why, and I said I had no idea. This is when I started letting my surliness show, and started acting rude and mean, because I was humiliated. And then I was brought into conversation with the couple's male friend, Dean. I was previously told that Dean has a crush on me, and I made it clear I wouldn't be interested, even if I were single. Even
Oh
after that,
no.
He kept trying to message me.
They're
and
trying
I
to
ignored him. But now
match
the
make
people
'em.
who brought me into conversation with Dean were like standing around staring at us and giggling behind their backs, like they thought they were Cupid matchmakers. Dean was absolutely a participant in this. I was meaner to Dean than I've ever been to anyone in my entire life. I was as fully rude as I've ever wanted to be when being the target of someone's romantic interest unwantedly. It's true, I don't really know if I was being set up, but I was already furious.
Nah, that's
before
definitely
that
a setup.
Everyone was silent and awkward. I went back and finished my meal, and as soon as I was done, picked up my purse and left, and went straight to my boyfriend's house, skipping most of the reception, cake cutting, speeches, and everything. I'm now being told by the couple that they're hurt and confused as to why I left so early. I haven't replied.
That's so
Am I the
stupid.
jerk for not telling
I
my
would have
family
thrown a
which of
fit
my
at
kids
the
is
place. Fuck
biologically
leaving.
mine?
I would have been like,
I have 2 kids, Clark and
so
Kit.
no, actually, you know what I would have
Both
done?
the same
I would have
father.
called
Only
up
one of
Brett
them
and been
is
like, yo,
biologically
come
my kid. They
show
were
up.
born within 6 months of each other.
It's apparently
Both are
okay.
currently sick,
Other
and for
people have
various
theirs.
reasons, I
You
have
get
full
over here.
custody of both of them. I
I would have
didn't speak to anyone in
summoned
my
him
family for
like a
several
goddamn
years,
demon.
and we got back in touch in 2019. Due to the boys' ages, my family know I couldn't have carried both, unless I have the gestation period of a hamster or the longest labor ever. I've explained to them how this all came to be, but in my explanation, I neglected to tell them which was my biological kid. Due to my ex having a type, the other woman looked enough like me that the boys could pass for twins. Same dark hair, blue eyes, pale
Other
skin,
one, wait, hold
and
it.
both
She get
left
cheated
chins
on and kept the
dimples.
kid?
My brother jokes that they look like tiny supermen. People who know them refer to them as twins because aside from a few minor differences, they're practically identical. Frankly, if they were
Eyes
closer
on
in
the
age,
avatar
and
is
I'd had
what
full
you'd put
custody
for
of
the-
both from the
Make
time
sure
they
the
were
eye
born,
that
I
is on
suspect
the
I would've
avatar
mixed
is
them up a
what
lot as
you
babies.
put
Shortly
for the
before Clark's
eyes.
birthday last year, my mom asked if she could see Clark's
Hold
birth
up, pause.
certificate. I
Let me
asked
ask
why.
something.
She said she wanted to know the exact time he was born.
Would
so I told her.
you?
She asked if she could see the certificate anyway.
Are you wanting me
She said she just
to
wanted to check. I said I'm his mother. I
edit
know when he was
it
born.
as in
Then she
redraw
asked
the whole
same
thing?
with our kin, and we went through the
Or
same
would you
conversation
prefer I
all over
edit it
again.
as in
Mom
like
eventually admitted that
do
she just
something
wanted
like
to see the
this where I
birth
just
mother's name
erase
on
the
each
stuff you
certificate,
don't want and
which
just
isn't
draw
even
it
how
back?
that works, and I told her as much.
Like, are you wanting me to
This
just
led
go
to an
ahead and
argument
like
where my
keep the
stance was
face
that I'm their
and
mother. Biology is
like do
irrelevant.
something like
Mom
this?
says if biology
And
is
then just
irrelevant,
redraw
then it's no
around
big
it?
deal to tell her which of them is biologically
Because if
mine.
so, I won't
I
have
said
to
if she's so
redraw
hung
the
up on
eyes. They could be
biology,
exactly
then
like
clearly it's
this
a
if
big
you
deal to
wanted.
her, and I don't want it to be
Unless you
a
want the
big
color
deal,
change, I could also
especially if
change the
boys
color.
themselves don't know. Mom feels this is incredibly selfish, narcissistic, and overall.
Because I don't want to do it the
She
wrong
feels
way.
that
Like if you're
biology
wanting
isn't
it
such a
done
big
as
issue,
like an
then I
edit
should have
edit
no problem
and not like a
telling her
full
whether Clark
redrawn
or Kid
edit,
is my biological son,
then I can do
as if
that.
accusing
I don't want
her
to do
of
it
potential
wrong.
favoritism or something similar with her
I will
bio
erase the hair
grandkid
because I'm
is
not
an
going to be
unfair
using that as a
judgment with
reference.
no actual reasoning to
Since
it.
your
My
character's hair
boyfriend
doesn't
agrees
look
that
like
I
that.
shouldn't tell anyone, at least until my sons have decided for themselves if they want to know and want other people to know. But my entire family agrees with Mom that I'm being unreasonably selfish and that my actions now are more likely to cause issues than Mom's potential actions later. Am I in the wrong?
I feel like
Well,
that
what do you
sounds so
think?
responsible.
Should OP
Not
tell
telling your
Mom or not?
parents
Please let
which
us
of
know.
your
And I
children
think Grandma should
isn't
mind her own
biological.
business, to be honest. Am I the jerk for not
That could lead to
reassuring
favoritism.
my boyfriend I was fine after he didn't help me after my car broke down by his house? I was driving to the store and my car crapped out on me.
Keep everything
Turns
on the
out the
face other
alternator
than the
failed and the engine
eye. I
started
want
up.
my
I
eye
pulled
for
over
it.
to the side of a remote road.
Oh,
It was
okay.
cold, and
So
I
let me
wasn't
see.
dressed
Hold
for the
up.
weather without the car's heater.
You said you
Some
sent
of
me the
to not wear
images.
a
Let
warmer
me.
coat or think to put a blanket in my car for the winter just in case. But it was supposed to be a quick errand.
Where's the
I called
picture
my
of your
boyfriend, who lived
character's
very close to where I was broken
eyes?
down,
I
and he
need a
didn't pick up.
closer
I
image because
texted
that
him
isn't.
saying I was broken
Can I
down
zoom
and
into
needed
this?
a ride.
No.
Could he help? He
Do
said
you
no.
have an
He had a friend
image
visiting. I said it was freezing cold,
closer
and I
to the
needed to get out of the cold
face?
fast because the car heater was broken too. He said, "Can't you ask a friend? This is a bad time." I called a friend who was 35 minutes away, and he got on the road right away. And we made plans to have his brother, who works for a towing company, get it for cheap the next day as a favor. We hung out for a few hours, and then I went to bed early.
Hold up. Who did
I
she call to come
accidentally
help
left
her?
my phone in his car, so when he left, he took it along. The next morning, I couldn't find my phone and sent an email to my friend to ask if he had seen it. He replied and said he found it in his car and he could bring it back on the weekend. I thanked him and apologized for making him make the trip twice. Anyway, I worked through the day and only checked my social media after the workday. I saw some
Boom.
panicked messages from my boyfriend on my Facebook.
Oh, she called her
asking what had
boyfriend to
happened.
come pick her up.
I didn't answer his text for 24 hours after the last thing I sent was, "Can you please come pick me up? It's freezing cold and I need to get out of the cold fast. Car
He-
heater is broken."
Did he leave
and
her?
I wasn't picking up my phone or answering texts or social media messages. Then he went out for a drive and found my car abandoned in the dirt off the side of the road. He was convinced
Oh,
I had been ignoring him
fuck.
despite him for not leaving right away to get me. He hadn't realized how serious it was, and he'd expected if I had had trouble getting a friend to help, I'd call him and tell him I didn't have another option. I said I wasn't being petty. I was just trying to deal with my own crap when my car crapped out on me, and I honestly wasn't thinking about him at all after he brushed me off for asking for help.
Damn, I
was
would be
stupid
fucking
for
pissed.
Not thinking that he'd be worried to be ghosted for a day after saying I was in trouble. Am I the jerk for not telling my boyfriend I was okay after he didn't want to help me after my car crapped out? Edit.
Did he have a
I
reason
broke
to not
things
want
off.
to help?
Seriously,
Good.
thank you to everyone who commented
Damn.
and told me this crap wasn't normal or okay. I thought I'd feel bad about ending things because I really wanted things to work out. But honestly, I feel like that's a huge weight off my shoulders. Am I the jerk for kicking out my mother and sister? I'm 21, female. I own my own place. I've lived
Alright.
here for a while now, and I loved my own peace, living by myself with no kids or a spouse. My mom, who's 41, wasn't the best
Let
when
me
I was
go
growing
ahead and
up.
try
She
to
would bring guys in and out of the home all
draw
the time.
that on this.
I'm glad nothing ever happened to me.
Let me get
but
the
it gave me a
same
bad view for her once I grew up,
lash
and not a good
going on.
relationship
Oh
along
shit.
with it. I have a
Wrong.
sister, 22, who's disabled physically and mentally. I grew up with her, but it was extremely hard to form a relationship with her. I had to take care of her a lot growing up, because my own mom wouldn't do any of it due to mom wilding around. My sister and I shared a room growing up, and I hated every second of it, if I'm going to be honest. My mom has been renting for a place to live, and since a few months ago, she can't live there anymore. My sister still lives with my mom, and my mom doesn't take care of her actively. She pays for a caregiver. My mom guilt-tripped me into letting her and my sister live with me temporarily for a month.
Alright.
I eventually said yes. It was fine for the first few days.
Where's
My mom
the
and sister
shape?
have been
So
living
the
here
bottom
now for
needs to be
3 months.
smaller.
My mom said only 1 month.
And
I have to work a
the
lot, so I'm barely there anyways. But when I have
top
a day
needs to be
off,
much
I
wider.
hate every second of it. I know my sister cannot help it, that she makes noises, a lot of noises, loud noises. It's like I can hear it everywhere. The caregiver still cares for her, but it's like having a complete stranger in my home. Long story short, on my day off, after hearing everything and the noises and tantrums, I went insane and snapped. I told my mom she has to leave.
Question:
She
Is that
refused to leave at first, but
eyeshadow,
eventually she did.
or is that
The last thing she told
like
me was, "You're
all
supposed to be
lash?"
grateful that I gave you a home to live in, and you can't give that back.
Okay, that's gonna come
You're a
out
jerk
that
and always
way.
have been." I eventually told her to just leave, and my mom got my sister, and they both left. I feel like I'm the complete jerk because of the fact that I told her to leave just because I was tired of my sister, even though she cannot help it at all. Am I the jerk? Edit. Thank you all for taking the time to comment. I have no new news about my mom or sister. I haven't spoken to her since she left. I haven't been able to reply to comments because I've been insanely busy today, but I just now read most of the comments. I appreciate it, and I started crying at some comments.
I'm
because they had
honestly
soft
not
spots in
sure.
it. I appreciate the comments you guys left.
Alright,
Thank you.
so the way I'm looking at it
To those asking
is it's a
how I
lot
got
of
my own house at
lines
21,
back and forth,
I
back
was
and forth,
given a
back and forth.
lawsuit
It's gonna come up
for undisclosed
all the
reasons.
way
That's a
here,
whole
like
different
up
story unrelated to
here
this.
for that
When I was
lash.
19, and I knew a particular person who
And
was
then I'm
selling
seeing,
house for
let's
cheap,
see,
so I
1, 2,
snagged it.
3.
I would say it was
I'm
an
assuming
lucky
4.
situation. Edit 3. I will be speaking to
1,
someone soon on my sister's behalf. I haven't ignored this whatsoever or forgot.
1,
I'm going to try to get my sister the proper care
2,
that she
3,
needs
4.
from
Okay.
someone or a place
So it's
who
gonna
does
come
know
out
how to
like
do that. I do not want to take care of her anymore. Nearly half my life, I was doing just that. Just for a final edit, she does not need to stay with our mom. Entitled Mom and Service Dog Fiasco, complete with fake fainting.
Oh shit.
Hi, I'm Crack Elf, and I have a service dog for my seizures. Before I recount the
1,
tale
2,
of this humanoid embodiment of a wet fart, I need to say a handful of
3.
things about service dogs. In the US, there is no legit or legal certification or registration for service dogs.
Yep.
There is no paperwork or certificate.
True.
There's no set harness or vest that makes a service dog real, and service dogs aren't even required to wear anything identifying them.
All
For
facts.
a dog to be a service dog, you must be disabled. The
Yep.
dog must be trained to do work to help with the disability. Snuggling, or he makes me feel better by being around,
Is
do
an
not count.
emotional
And
support.
the dog must not have any kind
That's
of
a
bite record.
ESA.
The dog also has to be trained to handle being in
All right.
public. I went to the redacted mall with my service dog and ended up going into a home decor shop.
Alright,
She
so I'm
was
gonna try to
wearing a Harry
mimic that
Potter
eye
themed
as
vest,
best as I can. There's a
slithered
lot
pattern
of
fabric, but was
black,
marked
like, right
clearly
above
as a
the
service
eye.
dog. She was sitting
So
in a
let's give this a
close view.
try.
I suddenly hear loud, angry, excitable barking, and it sounded like it was coming from a big dog. My service dog has been attacked before, so I was kind of freaked out already. I was looking to see if there was a second exit to
This
the
is
shop
why we don't
when I
bring
saw
pets
the
in
older
public.
woman, entitled Mom, with her severely obese, hyperactive Labrador and wildly overstimulated kid in tow. The lab was pulling at the end of his flexi lead, barking his head off, and it looked like his tiny vest was either going to snap or cut through his fat rolls. She had the
Oh, poor
flexi
dog.
lead attached to his vest, and he wasn't wearing a collar. We're in a sort of
So
weird
1, 2, 3,
standoff where I
4.
look like I'm one minor inconvenience away from a heart attack, and she's smirking, letting her dog bark, pull, and fling saliva everywhere.
4.
The thing was acting like Cujo, Bird Dog Edition.
Bird
Entitled Mom gets her
dog?
son's attention by snapping a few times and then pointing at my dog and says, as loudly as she possibly can, "See? That's a fake support dog. The real ones are always retrievers." I wasn't really sure what to say to that.
Wait, hold
because
up,
she's
what?
And her service dog is currently running in place
Pause.
lead because it can't
Pause.
get any traction on the floor.
Pause. True, most labs that are like from a company pre-trained are gonna be like, not most labs. Most service dogs that come pre-trained typically are like a lab. I don't know why that's like a thing, but they're not always or constantly or even have to be. It could be any kind of dog, any breed, even pit bulls, chihuahuas, Pomeranians, as long as they are non-aggressive, have no bite record, and do the job, like they can do their task for the disabled person. Sent eyes closed picture as well. That's great for the eye, for the one, the other eye. The hair is kind of in the way. I can't really see how far out the eyelashes go. But should be fine since the hair is going to cover it anyways when we redraw it. I'm just going to try to be as similar as I can. Get some of that edge going. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my goodness. How does the side of that eyeball work? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you got a really big one at the bottom. This attaches completely to the other eyelid in a decent chunk. So, pause. But yeah, no. That fucking, all of them are labs is not even close to being true. Like, I've heard people say, oh, that breed can't be a service dog, things like that. When any breed, as long as they are non-violent, have no bite record, and perform their task, can be. Thought that was stupid.
I couldn't get past her because the little corridor to the exit was narrow enough for
And there's
Cujo
3 small
2.0
ones.
to get a hold of my service dog. I settled on, "Move. I can't get past your dog." She immediately starts getting upset and claiming that my wolf hybrid, husky but okay, is
3.
actually vicious and her dog only wants to play. I just sort of told her to move again. She started yelling for an employee, claiming she felt she was in danger and they needed to kick me out with my fake service dog because said dog, who was standing directly beside me, completely silent, was a direct threat to her psychotic lab. An employee who looks as if he gave up his happiness at the ripe old age of 15, God, dude, I'm sorry you have to deal with this kind of person regularly, comes over and glances at me, then turns his attention to entitled mom. The conversation followed. Employee, your dog is barking and not under control. Please leave. You can come back without him. Legal to request and enforce if the dog is acting like that. Entitled mom.
If a service dog is
Excuse
acting
me?
belligerent,
Are
you
trying
can
to
kick
deny
them
me
out,
service
even if they
because my son has
are a
support
service
dog?
dog.
Said over the dog barking itself hoarse. Employee. According to the Americans with Disabilities Act, employees can ask people with disruptive or aggressive dogs to leave. You can still return without him. My son needs this dog. He can't leave the house without this dog. Whips out her phone, starts to dial 911. Me, still just looking for a way to get out of this store. Entitled mom, on the phone with the 911 dispatcher, crying and screaming about how her son is being discriminated against because he has a service dog. Getting more and more frustrated because the dispatcher is taking maybe a second too long.
I ripped the head off the ERP avatar and put it on this one. And a hair, I ripped off another avatar and attached the hair and an avatar blender.
There's a short lull where her dog suddenly stops barking, sniffs the ground,
to be
and starts
fired.
circling. He then pops a squat right in the pottery barn.
Man, really being
drops an
fired for
almost
actually
liquid
obeying
ball,
the law?
so foul that it could curl a lumberjack's eyelashes.
Did the dog
The
shit?
employee sighs and tells her again to just leave, but not to come back. She resumes screaming. I zone out of reality and into the Wii Sports theme because I'm trapped in the store, not only by a possibly aggressive dog, but also by the river of molten doggy dew spread out in the entryway. Police and EMS arrive. They start asking 3 of us some questions. Employee and I are understandably losing the will to live. An entitled mom is screaming and gesturing wildly, yanking her crying kid around in the process. The cop turns to the employee and says, "Which dog made that mess?" Employee tells him the truth. It was entitled mom's
eyelashes.
dog. Entitled mom starts screaming about how this is discrimination against her son.
Ooh,
The
they
cop
still go
asks
up kind of
what task
more.
the dog performs. Legal. And she says emotional support. The cop, of course, tells her to leave because ESAs don't have public access rights. Entitled mom suddenly interrupts the cop and says that the dog is actually for her fainting episodes, and he barks when she is going to faint. Dog resumes barking, and she dramatically faints. She said, "I'm fainting," and lowered herself to the ground, guarding her face, and then goes
What is
limp
my
when
select?
she's on the floor. Everything is quiet for a moment
Oh,
until
shit,
the
there it
cop
is.
says, "Ma'am," and she yells, "Get the EMTs. I fainted. I am injured."
This
I
bitch
have
wants
fully
to
left this
pay
plane in existence,
ambulance
and
bill?
I'm now watching in third person.
Alright,
EMS trundle over with a stretcher,
let me...
which she limply rolls onto, making those weird fatigued Southern Belle noises. Dog resumes barking. Son resumes crying. The EMTs ask who's going to take the dog because they are refusing to transport a possibly aggressive animal. Entitled mom resumes screaming about her discrimination. Entitled mom caves after they tell her she will not be going to the hospital until someone else has the dog.
Let's see.
Entitled mom yells for her husband for 2 minutes straight until he comes up, takes the barking dog, takes the
Oh,
kid,
shit, no, not
and
cancel.
leaves. Entitled mom is shipped to the hospital.
Alright, so
and
it's
hopefully
higher
to some
up.
ward. A janitor comes to clean up the river of liquid doggy dew in the entryway. Employee goes back to the usual drudgery of working at Pottery Barn, and I go home because my batteries are empty. Edit. If I see another well-intentioned but misinformed person rooting for mandatory documentation/certification for service dogs, I'm going to leave this plane of reality and take every dog, puppy, wolf, coyote, and dingo with me so no one can enjoy them anymore. Chipotle. Once you get hired, you can never leave. My wife has been mistaken for a Chipotle employee
Alright,
2
so let's
times,
see
with
how
somewhat hilarious
that
results,
compares.
resulting in an argument with a manager who thought she was
Alright,
a
we have
sloppily dressed new
one,
hire, and a woman who could only yell.
We need
So a bit of background. 7 years ago in college,
a little
me
too
and her
much,
used to work
and
for
then
Chipotle. In fact, it was where
Goes
we
down
met.
like that.
As we worked there, we amassed quite the selection of Chipotle t-shirts. And for those of you who don't know, the design is a small Chipotle logo on the front and a large design on the back. Back in the early 2010s, the designs were quite imaginative and had some pretty cool art on the back, which actually might be something you might
Oh,
want to
you
see
like
more
how
of.
it was? Okay,
My
I'll
wife's friend,
I'll undo it.
a woman who
Nice.
through remarkable patience and tenacity actually became successful in the company, who still works there, hooks her up with the newer shirts. And yeah, they're not as good as before, with boring designs.
Deselect.
talking
Alright.
about
I
special
still need to
offers and
fix the front
real
of this though, if
ingredients.
that's okay.
Eventually, working there
It's
became
like,
too much for me, and I fell out
you
with
have
the management
this
and quit. I was so
thing in
mad
the
at them,
front.
I was going to burn my shirts as an act of catharsis, but my wife persuaded me to let her have them for work, even though they were way, way too big for her. And so she amassed quite the collection. I'd estimate it to be about 20.
Unless do you
For a
not
while
want that
after I
right
left,
there? Because I
getting
can take that
promoted to a
off.
kitchen manager. And then after we left,
I know it's on
a
your
huge
model,
collection
but
of
if you
work
don't want it on the
shirts became my
drawing,
loungewear
that's
and pajamas.
understandable.
It's like when I got hired, I could never really leave, because half the time I see a Chipotle girl wandering around the house. Harmless enough, but once or twice she's actually gone into a Chipotle wearing one of these shirts, and occasionally weird stuff happens. So the first one was about 2 or 3 years ago. We had been out the previous night. It was a Saturday, and we'd both
Try,
gotten
I
pretty
like
drunk.
it without it. Alright,
When we'd
alright.
gotten home,
So I'll
I
undo
helped
that
her to
again.
bed, and she'd just
And
thrown
just
on
leave
a
it the way I
t-shirt and
had
fallen
it.
asleep. And then me not long after. I woke up the next morning feeling a lot better.
Alright, so
Had
there's
breakfast,
the
but she was still pretty hungover from the
that
previous
side.
night. So I just sat and played games
Now
for a
let's
few
go
hours
for this
until about noon.
side.
I went in
Accurate to
and
your
asked her if she
closed
wanted
one.
food, and she did. But she wanted to go to
So
Chipotle,
it's gonna be really
as
thick
she
as
felt
well,
burgers would be
but we
gross
need to
and
do
a
it
hungover
in an
state.
upward
She'd been
position, not the
sleeping on her back,
downward.
however, so I
This would be
hadn't noticed that
thicker.
she was wearing one of her favorite shirts, a huge, oversized, for her, one that she had gotten from me that featured a
Alright,
lettuce
so we need to
shouting,
focus on those
"Lechuga"
eyelashes that are gonna
on the
poke
back.
out.
Add an avocado, which replies Gesundheit. As I said, the old designs were actually
Long
quite cool
eyelash.
and weird. She slipped on an old pair of Lakers basketball shorts, a hoodie which covered up her t-shirt, hence me not seeing it, and some sunglasses to hide her hangover.
One,
And then we
there's
left for
4 at the
Chipotle.
top. So
She
this is the
brightened
one
up
on the
on way
bottom.
considerably as well, so everything seemed fine.
2,
We got our food and started eating, and then, as it was hot, she took off her
2,
hoodie and then said she'd be off to the restroom.
3.
I didn't think much
Oh,
of
shit.
this, and again, I didn't notice the back of her
3.
shirt. So for a while, I carried on eating and finished, and then I noticed my girlfriend hadn't come back from the
4.
restroom.
Oop.
So I sent her a text asking if she was alright. She sent one back saying, "Long story," and then a few minutes later came back laughing. What had happened is, she had gone to the restroom, and when she came out, ran into a woman who had asked her, "What do you think you're doing, coming in dressed like this?" It turned out this was the store manager. She thought my girlfriend was a new hire, and she proceeded to tell her off for coming in dressed in such a sloppy manner. An oversized uniform shirt and baggy basketball shorts give a poor impression of the company, and that she'd have to go back home and change, and that she was going to be written up. My girlfriend started to get angry in response. Then she looked down, and then at the reflection of the back of her shirt in the glass behind her, and realized the t-shirt she had thrown on last night was in fact, yes, a Chipotle uniform. So an
See,
easy mistake to make.
Could you
She
copy and
explained
flip
she was
it?
actually
Oh yeah, I
pregnant,
could definitely
and this
make it
was
where
her
like they're
boyfriend's
both
old
open if
work
you
shirt,
want.
and started to apologize for coming in dressed this way
Boop,
and
boop,
confusing the
boop.
manager. At which point, the manager apologized for telling my girlfriend off, and they spent about a minute in a loop
Alright,
apologizing
so
to
in
each
case
other.
you decide you don't like the way it's
The manager
flipped, I'm
offered
gonna
my
take this
girlfriend a
eye,
buy one, get one free card for the
and I'm
mistake.
going to just
And so
move
in
it
the
to
end,
the other
there were no
side.
hard feelings. So we got some free food from this one,
Warm.
and
I'm
it was
gonna move
hilarious
it
as well.
out the way.
That was one of our experiences. The other was actually
No,
a
the
few weeks
spike,
ago. And
spiky
since
part
last
of the
time, we got married,
eyebrow.
so she's now my wife. Now that lockdown is lifted,
Eyebrow?
we can go out a
What?
lot.
I
A
haven't
while
drawn
ago,
the
we went to
eyebrows yet.
Chipotle
What are
on
we
a Sunday
talking about?
evening. And yeah, my wife was rocking a Chipotle shirt again.
What?
We figured that as it was quite late in the evening,
Like
it
I'm
would be
stupid. We
people
gotta
it
think
would be
about
pretty
this.
chill, and we couldn't be bothered smartening up, so we just went as we were. Also, the store we
No,
frequent
the
seems to
spiky
always
part
hire
of the
super nice staff
eyebrow.
as well, so it's always been good. We go
Spiky
in, and
part
yeah,
of the
there's only one or
eyebrow.
two people there, so it should be fine, right? We ordered.
Oh,
and
do you
the guy
mean
who
like?
made our
I
food
mean
for us
lashes.
gave her a
Before.
double take, and
Oh,
then it
okay,
was
yeah.
smoother.
I get what you mean
The
now.
girl
I had to
on
think about
cashier,
that.
However, smiles and says, "I like your shirt," and my wife says, "Oh, I don't work here." There is life after Chipotle, and they have a nice conversation about college, and how things are nowadays.
Alright,
and
so
locked
I
up with
could
Zero.
take
I
this
think she was about 17,
and
she enjoyed the conversation so
copy,
much that she gave us our
paste,
meal for free. I leave a nice tip for the
flip.
cashier and the other staff as well.
If I do
because I
this
remember how good
though,
that felt at the end of the shift.
I'll have
And so
to
we're heading towards our
shrink
seat,
it,
and the evening has a
like
generally
flatter,
good vibe to it so far. However,
so that it
then we
fits.
hear, "No, you're doing my bowl wrong. I want this salad."
Deselect.
Jab, jab, greasy fingerprints on sneeze guard. "You're still doing it wrong. My God, how stupid can you be?"
Oh shit.
And so on. And
Deselect.
looking over my
Like
shoulder,
that?
I saw a woman who was one of these customers who is the nightmare
Does
of
this
all
look
Chipotle workers.
good?
The
That does
self-entitled
help,
customer
honestly.
who
It
believes
does.
that by yelling and creating a scene, they can get whatever they want. If you're wondering why everything
It
she
does.
says
It definitely
is in all
matches.
caps, it's because she
Now,
never
I
lowered
think
her
the other
voice
eyelashes
and
that I
stopped
drew
yelling while she was
are
in the
good to
store.
represent this
It's the
portion
only
and
way I
that
can get
portion.
across how obnoxious it was to be around
I
her.
can't really add
We
those
sit
to a
down,
closed
and then she
eye.
finally gets her
But
bowl
does
made
this
exactly how she wanted
look?
it.
Hold up, I need to
But it
add
wasn't
these
good enough.
back.
And when she gets to our previously happy cashier, she proceeds to chew her out for being super slow and overpriced. My God, this place is a disgrace, and it's just making her life a misery. The cashier is trying to placate her as best as she can, and an equally stressed manager, I don't think much older, appears and tries to calm down her Karen-ness, but the woman just won't stop.
Where's the blender?
I just shook my head and started eating, but the manager must have done something to get her to leave them alone, because the Karen went and sat by the door after making a scene of snatching up her food and storming to the table. Karen clearly made quite an impact on the cashier as she ran off to the back to cry, leaving her equally miserable-looking manager in her place, and generally everything just feels bad now. We just finished our food and walked out,
And
but as
then
we go
boom.
past the Karen on the way to the door,
I'll
we
smudge
hear,
this
"Hey,
too.
you. Yeah, you, girl." And we stop. My wife turns around and says, "Excuse me, ma'am?" And Karen goes, "Yeah, I know you're leaving work with your boyfriend,
Boom, boom.
but as your manager, I want to make a formal complaint."
As your
My wife
manager?
turns
Oh,
back to me,
as
grins,
you
and
are
mouths,
manager.
"What the heck?"
She thinks this
Because
person is a
although
manager.
She is wearing a Chipotle shirt, she's also wearing neon green running shorts, flip-flops, and a backwards green and yellow baseball cap, none of which are part of the approved uniform. This isn't how Chipotle managers dress, although I guess Karen figured she was slightly older than the rest of them. She's 28, and thus was a senior manager. My wife finished her time at Chipotle as a kitchen manager, and I guess the fact this customer made our new favorite cashier cry meant that she wanted a little payback for all the times she'd been in the same situation. She does a very, very good customer service persona.
There we go.
All bubbly and sweet.
Nice
and she
smudge
slipped
to
right
look
back into it,
nice
and then
and
walked over to her and
eyelashy.
said, "I'm sorry, ma'am. How can I help you?" Karen then
Alright,
goes off
so
into
how's
a
that
rant
for
about
the
how the store is
eyes?
badly run. She was kept waiting when clearly trying to mess around and go on a little power trip, and how the employees are all stupid, and no wonder they were all minimum wage and blah blah, generally being
Now,
a jerk.
another thing I need to
My
look
wife
at
just
is
listens
the
intently
pupils.
and says with a
Okay,
smile,
good. They're pretty
"Well,
wide,
ma'am,
so it's gonna be
those
similar
are
to
some
that.
interesting observations,
Alright.
but I think you can just
So-
don't forget yourself." Karen is stunned for a second, as well as the staff behind the counter, who seem to be enjoying
Merge.
watching someone stand up to Karen, and then says, "I'm writing to head office, and you're out of a job, missy. Give me your name." At which point my wife says, "I'm first name."
Wait,
Karen
hold
writes
up,
down her
my
name
eyes.
and then says, "You'll be hearing from head office after they hear from me." At which point my wife says, "And I haven't been a manager at Chipotle for quite a long time, so I can pretty much say
Fuck is
whatever
that?
I want to you." Karen just
What did
stares
I add?
at her and says,
No.
"But you're wearing their shirt." To which she responds, "Yeah, I'm wearing it because it's a cool shirt and I used to work here. It doesn't mean I work here now.
Alright, I'm
so
gonna
I
draw
can tell
out
you
the
that you're being a massive jerk who
eyes.
likes taking her anger out on people much younger than her.
Oh, shit.
And that I think everybody would prefer it if you just buzz off and stop throwing your weight around because Chipotle can't fire me." Karen is stunned, processing a girl in a Chipotle shirt telling her off instead of placating her. And then she pushes past us and says, "This is a disgrace. Never
Damn,
come here
ad
again,"
after
and
Twitch
slams the door
crashed on my
behind her,
phone.
and then
Dang.
drives off quickly. I'm just processing what
And
happened because it was weird,
now-
and my wife goes back over to
Head
the
into
two
a
girls
wall
behind
for
the
fun? What
counter
the hell are
to
you talking
apologizing
about?
for saying that to a customer. I guess, as in Karen's eyes, she was a representative of the company, but the girls were cool with it and quite happy that she
Alright,
did
so let
stand
me
up to the
take a
Karen.
peek.
And also, it
You
was
have
just a
a
customer versus
dark,
customer interaction,
dark pink
despite appearances. So moral of the
with
story,
a
if you ever work
other
a fast
light
food
pink.
job and
So what I'm
wanna
gonna
go
do
back there, check you're not wearing the
is
old uniform before you go in. Edit. Apparently, it's not an egg saying
I'm gonna
gozen,
grab this.
but an avocado, as it was just pointed out to me.
Save image
Speaking of
as.
Chipotle, what's your favorite place to go eat? Please let us know.
Pictures,
Nothing tops
mission.
McDonald's. Entitled dad tries to cut in line because his son needs his meds. Incident turns physical. To add some context before the whole story goes down, I recently suffered an injury at my work. I was granted time off
Where's
to recover
my area
psychologically
for?
and physically. I've lost
There's
an
supposed to be a
unhealthy amount of
spot
weight.
that I
I'm
can
quite
put
tall,
a
so I look
reference
kind of
picture.
odd. Now on to the story. So I'm waiting at the counter at my local
Object?
pharmacy.
No.
I'm waiting for
what
a
does
pretty
object
big
do?
pickup of medications. I'm pretty stressed
Tool,
because it's
brush,
quite busy in the
eraser.
pharmacy.
Where's my
I couldn't really
reference?
figure out why, but I think it had to do with giving out some sort of shots.
Ah,
While
there it
I'm
is.
waiting, a man with a Blue Jays ball cap, entitled Dad, and his kid line up behind me. At this point, it's taking longer than I anticipated for my meds to come in, and I can tell the man behind me is getting quite impatient. Entitled Dad says,
Alright.
"Hey, excuse me, can we go up?" I respond, I think they're almost done.
Pictures,
A few more minutes pass, and the
reference.
meds haven't come in. Ball cap guy,
Alright.
entitled Dad, is getting increasingly impatient, and my social anxiety is clawing at the back of my head. Entitled Dad says, "I'm going in front of you, buddy."
Eyes.
I say, "Can you wait a bit longer? I really need." Entitled Dad responds, "Yeah, right, buddy," and pushes past me to the pharmacist counter. Entitled Dad yells, "Excuse me, can I get my kid's medicine?" The nice pharmacist
I'm gonna
lady,
do the
who happens
eyes
to be my
right
girlfriend's
now
older sister,
before
comes
I
to
like
the
work
counter.
on like the hair.
We're very familiar with each
So I
other, and
message
she's always
you.
been super nice and
So
helpful.
that
She looks a
message
bit
you
flustered
see
and
what?
irritated. Girlfriend's sister goes,
Oh, that
"We're just
message or
sorting out
what?
someone
Wait, did I
else's
say something wrong?
medications at the moment. Can you wait a bit longer?"
I didn't.
I'm
There's
the
no
only
other
person
message
at the
from you
counter,
for like
so
a
it's
while
apparent who's
up
causing the wait. Entitled
before
Dad,
that. I don't
"So
know
you'll give this
what happened.
fiend his medications, but not my kid?" At this point, my social anxiety kicks in full
Do I
drive,
have an
and my fight or
airbrush?
flight
Yes.
instincts are raging. I'm using every
What the fuck?
fiber of my being to hold back tears. Girlfriend's sister glares at entitled Dad and says, "Sir, you are going to wait your turn. No discussion. We're almost done." Entitled Dad gets angry. "My kid needs his pills." I look at the kid, and he's dead silent. He looks like he wants to run away as badly as I do. Girlfriend's sister, "Sir, if you don't calm down, I'm going to have to ask you to leave." At this point,
Alright,
everyone
so
in the
we
pharmacy is
do
staring
this
at the
one.
commotion, and I start crying uncontrollably.
Oh, shit,
and I try
wrong.
to say, he can just go ahead to diffuse everything, but I'm pretty sure it came out as gobbledygook. Entitled Dad looks at me and screams, "What the heck are you crying about?" and starts approaching me. I'm all too familiar with confrontation in my work, and I start freaking out. I turn to run away, but I feel something shove me, and I fall onto the floor. It didn't hurt. My fear just overwhelmed me, and I curled up into a ball on the floor and cried. I hear a lot of screaming and yelling between the pharmacy employees and the man. After what eventually felt like forever, some policemen
Alrighty,
arrive.
so we are going
Policewoman
to
tries to ask me if I'm all
smudge.
right before questioning me. My girlfriend's sister was infuriated that they were questioning me, and she answered everything for me. The policeman
smudge,
took entitled Dad outside, and my girlfriend's sister took me out back and drove me crying to my girlfriend's apartment. Edit. I want to thank everyone so much for the kind words and support. Life is hard right now, but it's always reassuring kind folks like you exist. 6 feet out or 6 feet up. I was reminiscing with my family about my late grandfather and some of the tomfoolery he got up to. I thought this story made a perfect post for this sub. Backstory. Decades ago, my grandparents purchased a large plot of land out in the middle of nowhere with the idea to build themselves a home and retire on that plot.
Wonder,
They
am
were
I
both
able
from the
to
rural
do
Midwest,
something like?
so they originally wanted to keep
No,
the
I
horses,
can't. Damn.
chickens,
But to
and
say, I
maybe a
wonder
few
if I could
other
just like
small farm
take the
animals on this
eye
land, hence the size.
and like
As the years went by and they started
remove
actually
it.
making
That
plans,
sounds so
they
weird.
realized that horses weren't really feasible for a variety of reasons. By that time, the area around their plot of land had been significantly more developed, so they instead split the
That's
plot
cursed,
into 8
bro.
pieces and
And
sold
then my
the other
brother's
7,
about to take this
essentially
test for
financing their original purchase and the construction of the house, leaving their retirement and pension
allowed
untouched.
to-
Because of their incredibly advantageous
Yo,
position,
nice.
they made a point to only sell to like-minded buyers.
Send face
Friendly
texture? What does the
retirees who were
face
looking for
texture
their last
do?
home and wanted a bit of the same rural
I'm not
isolation that my grandparents
super
wanted.
into
The
like
result is that
knowing.
my
Like I don't
grandparents
really
ended up
know a
with
lot
their
of
dream bungalow on a spacious
how I
lot,
say it.
surrounded by friendly neighbors.
I don't know
and without
how a
any
lot
major
of
time or
the
money obligations. They ended up spending a lot of time volunteering and generally making
the
friends with
VR
the
stuff
community that was
works.
growing
Like
around them. The event.
I know that there's
The
like
area ended up
textures
becoming
used and
incorporated,
such, but I don't know
and
what
the
that
town they were now living in
means
eventually
for me.
decided that the two-lane
Like, if you
blacktop
send it, what do I
road
do with
needed
it?
to be repaved and upgraded with sidewalks, gutters, and all the other amenities townspeople expect. Now, the county that the town was incorporated from had planned ahead, and there was plenty of room set aside for exactly this type of project, so none of the residents needed to move their fences or
Might
give
be able
up
to get the
property
eye
to the
from
state.
it. Ooh,
However,
that would
most
be
of them
nice.
had placed their mailboxes on a post about a half dozen feet from their property line.
That
nearer
would
to the
make it a
road,
little
so that the
easier.
postman had easy access.
You don't have
When the
to if you
construction
don't.
started,
If you
the city
can't.
representative visited
But if
each
you want to
property on
try,
Main
go
Street
for it. You
and gave
can.
them a heads up on what to expect, and also asked that the residents move their mailboxes to make room for construction. My grandfather, being of light schedule and helpful demeanor, offered to help his neighbors.
There's a lot of
temporarily
line
relocate
and
their
detail
mailbox
in
and
this
post.
eye, which is what's
He had
making me
retired
struggle
from
so
career
much.
as a handyman, and several of his
Hold up.
kids owned
Where is
landscaping or
a-
similar businesses. So he and my uncle spent a few hours with a mini backhoe and unearthed all 8 of his neighbors' mailbox posts, cement and all. He saved the posts
Trying to, like,
reinstall
experiment
them
with
when
these
the road
things.
was complete, and mounted the mailbox proper on each property's fence. The issue. Lo and behold, on Monday they had no mail service. After a bit of investigation, they realized none of their neighbors did either. So the next morning, my grandfather waited outside to see what the problem was. Right on time, the mailman drove down their side of the street, completely ignoring all 8 properties. Redoubling his efforts, the next morning my grandfather was able to flag the mailman down and ask what the problem was. According to my grandfather, the very curt response was, "I'm not required to deliver to any mailbox more than 36 inches from the edge of the road." A call to the Postal Service confirmed this rule. The mailman may deliver outside that limit if they want, but they are not required to.
Bro, that's
The
their
compliance.
job.
Now, it's pretty amazing what you can get done with 8 business hours of free time. The problem was that 36 inches from the current edge of the road is in the way of construction. My grandfather spoke to the construction supervisor, who was sympathetic, but just as stuck as my grandfather was. My grandfather then visited the postal office and returned with a current copy of the regulations about mailbox locations. After a few hours of study and another visit to the construction supervisor's office with a half dozen donuts and some coffee, he had formulated a plan. Remember his sons who ran a landscaping business? My grandfather got in his truck and visited both businesses. He returned home with 8 20-gallon plant pots. These things are huge, 30 inches tall, and just about as large around. You see, while the construction guys couldn't mess with a federally protected...
Oh, you
fixed
sent it? Okay,
mailbox,
let's see
they
what
were
that
happy
looks
to
like
move a
then,
pot out
because
of
the
their
eye
way
is
in the
taking
morning,
a little bit of
and
time.
back when the
Granted,
job
I
was
did
finished for the
get it
day.
a little
My
bit
grandma
closer
makes
now.
some pretty darn
It
good
just takes a
donuts,
minute
which is
of
a pretty
experimenting
easy
with
task
brushes
when
and
you have
such
earth-moving
to
equipment
be
nearby.
able to do
So each
things
post
like
was
that.
replanted in a
Especially when you're
20-gallon
not
pot,
used to
and
it.
each mailbox was remounted
Because
on
lately
the
my
post,
style has
and
been
each
more
pot was placed
cartoon.
conservatively within 36
So this is
inches of the current
definitely...
road's edge. The kicker was that a mailbox post that is meant to stick 4 feet out of the ground has at least 2 feet buried in the ground.
Let me
In
just
other
finish
words,
blending this
it's a
just in
6-foot
case I'm not
post.
able to actually
When you
get it.
post that inside a pot with a few inches of soil underneath and that pot on the surface of the ground, a mailbox on top is easily more than 6 feet in the air. You see, the mailbox codes clearly specify how far horizontally a mailbox needs to be from the road, but says nothing about how high that mailbox needs to be. It took a few more conversations with a postman and a visit from the local inspector, but the mailman spent the better part of 6 months delivering to 8 mailboxes 6 feet in the air, rather than walk the
Damn,
extra 6
that's
feet
being
to the fence.
sassy.
Am I the jerk for telling my boyfriend?
Alright,
I
let's
can't
see
afford to
what
feed
you
his kids
sent.
right
Let's
now?
see if I can use
Hi,
that.
Reddit. I
This
really
is
need the
close, but it's still gonna
unbiased
take some
opinion of internet
adjusting.
strangers and accept any
What
and
the
all
fuck
judgments.
is that?
For context, my boyfriend, 36,
What
male,
is
and my son and I,
this?
36,
Oh my
female,
god, is that
live
how it's
together,
made?
and for
What
the
is that
moment, I am
part?
the main
What the fuck
breadwinner.
is that part?
Boyfriend pays his portion of the rent, and I then pay for
She has
everything else.
freckles.
Food, utilities,
And
my portion of the
there's
rent,
a fang
fuel,
on her
basically
tooth?
everything else.
This is good
I
to
have
know.
budget like crazy to
The
cover
fuck does
everything.
this go
I don't have
to?
a great salary either.
What
but
is
better
what is
than
this
his.
part?
He's working on bettering his situation, and I
the fuck does
support
that
us
do?
with an open heart. No resentment and no expectations.
Where does
of
that
repayment.
go?
He has 2 kids from
What
a
the-
previous
what the fuck is
relationship
that?
visit us
What is
semi-regularly when he's
this?
off work. So on to the issue. Last week, he kind of sprung it on me that his kids were coming to stay the night.
Oh shit,
I
those are
asked
like
him
that's an
nicely to let me
eye
know a
facial
bit sooner
expression.
next
So I
week
guess that's like
so that I
freaked
could
out
work
eye.
my
Okay, so this is
situation.
what I need.
I reworked some things to feed all of us, and
Oh,
everything is
shit.
good. I made a bunch of pancakes. Yesterday, he tells me that they're coming again. I think the ex is asking, and I ask if it's after I get paid. He says no, it's not. I say as gently as I can that it's the end of the month and I can't really afford 2 extra mouths right now. I'm having to borrow to make ends meet for the week as it is. He blows up, says he doesn't see his kids, and it's not my responsibility, and he'll sell his car for money if he has to. I love him and I love his kids, but the reality of the situation is that I can literally not feed them too right now. I know it's just 2 kids and a few extra meals, but it's the reality of our situation. And one of the kids is a preteen that eats a lot more than I do some days, and that's okay. Please bear in mind that boyfriend has no money at all for extra anything. Am I the jerk for saying I'm not able to accommodate his kids right now? Karen didn't show up for work,
Alright,
so I
here's what I'm gonna
fired her.
do.
I own a vape shop. We're a small business, only 12 employees. One of my employees, Peggy, was supposed to open
I'm going
yesterday.
to
Peggy has recently been promoted to manager
remove
after 2 solid years of good work as a cashier.
everything
I really
but
thought
the
she could handle
eye.
the responsibility. So I wake up 3 hours after the place should be open, and I have 22 notifications on the store Facebook page. Customers have been trying to come shop, but the store is closed. Employees are showing up to work, but they're locked out. I call Peggy and get no response. I text her.
Damn it,
thing.
Peggy Hill.
So I go in and open the store. An hour before her shift was supposed to be over, she calls me back. I ask her if she's okay, and she says she needed to take a mental health day and do some self-care. I'm still pretty upset at this point.
Oh,
but I'm
fuck
trying
no.
to be understanding, as I know how important mental health can be.
You don't fuck with someone
So I
else's
asked her why
business.
she didn't call me as soon as she knew that she needed the day off. Her response, I didn't have enough spoons in my drawer for that.
Oh, fuck
Frankly, I
no.
don't know what that means. But it seems to me like she's saying she cannot be trusted to handle the responsibility of
Hold
opening
up,
the
this
store in the
lady
AM.
ghosted
So I told her she had 2 choices.
the business after
1,
getting a
go
raise.
back to her old position with her old pay. 2, I fire her
What?
completely. She's calling me all sorts of names now
Alright, we're gonna
and says that I'm
cut
discriminating
this,
against her.
and then we're gonna undo
None of
everything.
This would have been a problem if she simply took 2 minutes to call
Yeah,
out.
actually, I could just.
I would have got up and opened
delete.
the store on time. But this no-call, no-show crap is not the way to run a successful business. I think I might be the
You're
jerk
in
here
charge while I'm
because I'm
gone.
taking away her promotion over something
I'm in
she really
charge.
had no control over. But at the same time, she really could have called me. So Reddit, I leave it to you. Am I the jerk? Well, what do you think?
You only need
Is
the
Opie
eye. The
jerk,
rest you
or
can
is
take off the
Peggy?
picture I
Please
have
let us
sent.
know.
This picture you've
After
sent,
sitting
or the
here
other
listening
picture?
to Reddit boy every day
What are we
for
talking
the
about?
past
Wait,
3
wait.
years, I think
You want me
I
to use
could
the other
use a
one?
day off myself.
What?
Cheat on your wife?
You confused me.
I'll ruin your life. This
Alright, so
happened
we're
about 4
definitely
years
going
ago,
to do
but
this.
I recently found out how part of my
paste.
revenge plan panned out, which is what prompted me to
And
post
transform.
this. I have never shared this with anyone before. Background. My mom has been best friends with Eileen, not her real name, since they were both kids, and Eileen has kind of been like an aunt to me. About 5 years ago, Eileen's husband of more than 25 years surprised her by asking for a divorce. Eileen
That's
lived
not a
about
good
6 hours
surprise.
away from her mom at the time, and I lived out of state, so I
Alright.
didn't find out how everything went down
This
until a few
should
months
be
after their divorce was
in
finalized.
place.
Unfortunately, Eileen's life kind of spiraled out of control after the separation and divorce. She developed depression and a drinking problem. But my mom and some other childhood friends were able to convince her to move back to her hometown, and then they convinced her to go to rehab.
Oh, that's
I moved
nice.
back home shortly before Eileen went to rehab, and because my
Boom.
school/work schedule was pretty flexible, I was able to house sit and take care of some
Boom.
stuff while she was in rehab.
You were
The first
smart.
time
That's
I
a good
visited
idea.
her in rehab, I got the whole divorce story, and it was bad. Eileen's ex, Jeff, also not
Only
his real
use
name,
the eye on the
hadn't
face
talked to
texture because
Eileen
it's all
about
I
any
used for the
problems prior
face.
to asking for a divorce.
Oh,
So
okay.
she just assumed he fell out of love with her. But I was immediately skeptical about the things Eileen told me. First, Jeff, who was an executive at a pharmaceutical company earning mid-6 figures, was fired from his
Nope.
job a year before they split up and decided to take a break before looking for another job. It was weird to me that Jeff decided to take a break from work because he had always been such a workaholic. Eileen hasn't worked in years because of a disability, but she has some property and a trust her parents left her that lets her live a comfortable life without working. Jeff and Eileen lived off money from the trust while he was unemployed. Then, after Jeff said he wanted a divorce, he refused to go to couples therapy or talk about why he wanted a divorce. The only thing he would say was that they had grown apart and that he was sick of being with someone like Eileen. He said Eileen's mother was right about her. Eileen's mother was a classic narcissist and had
Alright.
bullied her for her whole life, which caused a lot of problems that Jeff knew about. Finally, right after the divorce was finalized,
I think that
Jeff
one looks
moved out
better.
of state, but to a state he didn't have any family or connections in. Jeff's parents are still alive, and in their 80s and 90s, and Jeff is pretty close to them. So it didn't make any sense to me why Jeff wouldn't move to be closer to them if he wanted to move after the divorce. I didn't say anything to Eileen because I didn't want to upset her, but I thought Jeff might have been having an affair.
Alright, so I'm just
Orchestrated his
gonna erase
unemployment
what's
to avoid
extra.
paying alimony and then moved out of state to be with his mistress. I just didn't have a way to confirm it at the time. The investigation. Then Eileen asked me to look for a box of Jeff's stuff. He had asked her to hold for him until he moved into his new apartment. She told me all the info on the box, contents, and his new address was in an email he sent her, and she gave me the password to her computer so I could access the email. This is where I lucked out. It turns out Jeff had used her computer and set up his email on the computer. I accidentally clicked on the app for his email.
Now,
when I was
question.
searching for Eileen's email.
Would you like it the way
I
it is right
decided to
now,
take a
where
peek at
I
his
shrunk
email.
it down to
The
fit
first thing I noticed
the other
was
eye,
that
or do
he
you
had
want it
mostly stopped
bigger, the
using
way it
that
was
email
originally?
address 3 years before, which was about 1 year
So
before
like
he
that
expired.
big,
In a folder for
or
digital
the
receipts,
size
I
it's
found a
supposed to be?
confirmation email
Well,
for a
it's
dating
supposed to
site,
be, but
which I think he saved there accidentally. I also found a verification email for a new email address. I started to put together a speculative
version,
timeline
alright.
of what happened. I guessed that about 3 years before, Jeff started an affair, and shortly after, he decided to get a new email address to help keep the affair secret. I wanted to access his dating profile to get more information, so I tried to use the forgot password feature to see if I could generate an
There we
email
go.
that would allow me to reset the password and log in that way. Unfortunately, the dating site
Boom.
didn't recognize Jeff's old email address. I thought I might be able to get into Jeff's new email using his old email to reset the password, and then maybe I could use the new email to get into the dating website. But I didn't want to risk locking Jeff out of his new email and alerting him until I knew more about what he had done.
the
And here's where
body,
I
the body
totally lucked
goes
out.
here.
The email app Jeff downloaded to Eileen's MacBook had a note feature, and super genius Jeff saved some passwords on notes.
Oh my fucking
Most of the
god.
passwords weren't
How are these
helpful,
people so
but I
stupid?
did get the password to the dating site and his Twitter
Which
and
pen was
Netflix
it that we were
accounts.
using?
I logged into the dating site
I
using
think
his
we were
new
using
email
the
address and
Sumi
the
pen.
password.
Yes.
I was able to read messages.
Alright,
Jeff
let's
sent
erase
to
all the
that
extra
woman
details that we don't
who broke up
need.
with Eileen. The new mistress sent Jeff her email address and one of the messages. I
The
searched
bangs
Facebook
are
for the mistress's
pretty
email
similar, but they're in the
address and
wrong
found her profile.
direction.
I couldn't read her posts,
Like this and
but
that,
she left her
this
photos
and that. So I'm gonna
She
redo
had
the
recent
bangs,
photos of
flip
her and
them.
Jeff, so I knew they were still together.
Oh
A
shit.
construction crew breaking ground on a new home for her and Jeff, which was interesting because I got the impression from Eileen that Jeff didn't have a lot of money after the divorce. Here's where my background is important. At the time I was attending law school, I moved back to my hometown for 1 semester for a legal residency, and I had access to Lexis database, specifically their public records database. I had spent a good portion of one of my summer internships tracking
Alright.
down property records and other assets to help recover judgments
That
for
is
clients.
also
So I
unnecessary
knew how
because
to
it's a
search
poof.
for public records. The
Bless you,
mistress
thank
had
you.
purchased several
I sneezed on
acres
the
in
wall.
a wealthy suburb several months before Jeff filed for divorce, and there was no mortgage listed on the record. I had already found her LinkedIn page, so I knew that she worked as an executive assistant before she moved out of state with Jeff. She didn't advertise her salary, but I doubted she could have afforded the property with her salary alone. It's possible she had money outside her salary, but I suspected Jeff gave her money to purchase the land before he filed for divorce. I also found an updated record in Lexis.
There's
showing
something
Jeff and the
weird about the way
mistress
that
as
they have
joint
the
owners of
shoulder.
the property.
It's
I
like
called the county records office
the
to
shoulder should
confirm
only
ownership
go
of the
out so
property,
far,
bids, etc.
like
The mistress had filed a quick claim
that.
just 5 weeks after Jeff's
they
divorce
have a whole
was
extra
finalized.
shoulder.
I was still hesitant to
I
try
don't
to
know if
log
that's
into
'cause it's
Jeff's
a
new
poofy
email,
dress,
so I
or
decided to check his old email again.
would you like
to
me
see
to
if
make
there
the
was anything
shoulder
else I should investigate
closer
before
to the
moving the new email.
body,
I didn't find
or
anything, but I noticed that
or
several
no?
passwords in his notes were the same. I decided to try to
While
log
we
into
decide
his
on that,
new
I'm gonna go
email
ahead and do the
using
bangs.
same password he used for the dating
Like I
site.
said, they're very
I figured
similar.
The two accounts were created around the same time, so if he had recycled a password, that was the most likely candidate. It worked. His new email was a gold mine. Because this
shit.
story is already getting ridiculously long, I'll list some of the relevant stuff I found. Jeff hadn't been fired from his old job. He quit and lied to Eileen.
shit.
I found an email from his admin asking where to have payroll send his last check and details about a goodbye party for him. Some emails between Jeff and a boat repair person mentioning a leak somewhere on one side of the sailboat near the engine compartment. The repair guy couldn't find the source of the leak, but he talked about the current and future problems with mold and the engine on that side. Emails between Jeff and a boat broker, which included the email address of buyers further down in the stream. An emailed report from the boat inspector, which didn't include the leak or any mold damage or potential damage to the engine. Emails between Jeff and his contractor about changes made to the new house's sunroom. Something about a 3-season sunroom versus a 4-season sunroom, and the construction needing to be modified to deal with the weight of snow. Emails between Jeff and the mistress. They had married. The mistress and Jeff shared a calendar.
Oh shit.
Some flirty emails between Jeff and another woman.
Oh
Emails
shit.
with info on Jeff's new employer. I downloaded all of the important emails and their attachments and started thinking about a revenge plan. Revenge.
I'm gonna turn this
To my
around
mind,
so I'm not
everything
doing
was
really
fair game.
deep.
He lied about being fired, so I wanted him fired from his new job. I suspected he hid his money before his separation from Eileen to help pay
How
for
far
his
up
new
does
house,
this go?
so I wanted him to lose his house. He cheated, so I wanted to destroy his new relationship. Anything
This
I could do about
needs
the boat was
a
a bonus. The
third.
easiest place to start was the boat. I had no idea if the source of the leak was found and repaired,
And
or
what
if the
is
leak
this?
was
Goes like
verbally
that.
disclosed to the buyer. But I figured Jeff was a lying jerk.
Alright, so I'm gonna take
So
this, I'm
odds
gonna
were
flip
fair
it.
he hid the info from the
Because
new
the
buyer.
bangs were super
I sent the
similar.
emails between Jeff and the repairman and another copy of the
Well, no,
inspection
no,
to the
they're
buyer.
totally different,
I
but the
searched
thing is,
Jeff's county
it's
court
like
website
flipped
5
and
to 6
shortened.
months later and
So what I'm
found
gonna
out the buyers had
do,
filed a lawsuit
they're
against
totally
Jeff
different, you're right,
and the
but
broker and
when you
inspector.
look at the
I
style,
couldn't figure out how to take or destroy
and if you
Jeff's
do
house,
this,
so I settled for contacting
lip,
the county inspector's office to complain about the sunroom not
and
being up to code.
shrink.
This is actually what prompted me to write
Oh
this
shit, I did it
post,
backwards.
because I just
You're right,
found out
hold
some
up,
details
pause.
about what happened with the county
It's the
inspectors.
different direction.
Keep in mind,
Well,
I heard
damn,
about
they
this
are
from a third
similar,
party years after the
but in the
fact,
wrong
so
direction.
I don't know all the details.
Because this
It turns out
goes
the sunroom was code compliant, but the inspector
Deselect.
did find
So
a
it goes
workshop/workroom
this
attached to
way
the detached
instead
garage
of-
that
hold
wasn't
up,
on
what?
the original permit or plans. The workshop had a
Instead of
bathroom
going
and the
this way, it
contractor
goes out
attached to the
this
property's
way.
septic system after the initial inspection.
I
A
thought it
mutual
was going
friend
to
of
be very
Eileen and
similar.
Jeff told Eileen and me, and he guessed this was a big deal because
I
the
can
size
undo
of
it.
the septic system
Let
they
me fix this.
installed wasn't sized to handle the additional input, but I don't know for sure. Jeff had to pay a fine, and the workshop had to be removed. This ended up causing construction delays, which will become relevant below. As for destroying Jeff's
Alright, let's
marriage,
see.
my first impulse was to send the new wife the flirty emails between Jeff and the other woman. But when I searched for that woman on social media, I couldn't find anything. I had no way of knowing if the new wife knew of the other woman and would think that the emails weren't important or evidence of an affair. Then I played around with the idea of updating Jeff's dating profile and sending stuff to his wife. But it would take too long to manufacture a fake relationship with real dates and times, and I was worried that Jeff might get an email alert from the dating site that would clue him in.
One.
I ended up just risking that the new wife wouldn't know the other woman. I pretended to be someone concerned about an affair between Jeff and the new woman. Overall, I kept accusation vague, but I did say
I'm gonna do
Jeff
this from
and
the
new girl
eyes
went out
up,
to eat
actually.
and to the movies on
The
few
eyes will
days
help me
Jeff's
measure
shared
out.
calendar said the new wife was out of town. I couldn't come up with a way to get Jeff fired. I rechecked his email and calendar over several weeks looking for something I could use to get him fired. Eventually, my legal residency got too busy to devote much time to revenge, so I decided to just let it go. Eileen recently reconnected with a friend she shared with Jeff, and that friend gave Eileen an update on Jeff. Eileen shared the details with me, and that's what reminded me of what I did and prompted this story. It turned out that I didn't need to worry about sabotaging Jeff's career. By luck, the woman Jeff had been emailing was actually his assistant at his new job, and Jeff's new boss was his brother-in-law.
Shit.
Jeff and his new wife actually moved to her hometown so she could be closer to her family, and so Jeff could go to work for his new brother-in-law. I have no idea if Jeff actually was cheating. He told a mutual friend that passed this story on to Eileen that they hadn't been having an affair. It didn't matter to new wife though, because she and Jeff got together when Jeff was already married. She didn't have a lot of trust for Jeff.
No
She
shit.
didn't believe Jeff's denials
Dumb
when I sent
bitch.
an email about him
I
having
don't
the
trust
affair.
the
She filed for divorce.
I don't
and
trust the
Jeff's
person
brother-in-law boss
who
fired him.
cheated on me
And
with
since the
or
construction
cheated
was
with
delayed,
me
the new house wasn't finished
on
when
someone
Jeff and
else.
his new wife
No
divorced.
shit.
They had to sell an unfinished home, and Jeff took a big financial hit. Finally, these weren't part of my larger revenge plan, but I am pretty petty, so I took the box of Jeff's stuff, mostly photographs, and threw them away. I told Eileen they must have been lost in the move. signed both of Jeff's email addresses for a bunch of spam, mailing lists, etc. Deleted his Netflix watch list.
Oh my
Posted,
gosh.
retweeted, and liked a bunch of nasty stuff on his Twitter account, and deleted all of the accounts he was following. The ending. I never told Eileen what I did, because I wanted her to have a plausible deniability, and I didn't want to interfere with her recovery. She doesn't know about the boat lawsuit or the Netflix and Twitter stuff.
Oh my
But
god.
she did take satisfaction from his divorce and job loss. I probably would have let it all go if Jeff hadn't had cheated, because I had always really liked Jeff. I always thought he was nice, but I was obviously wrong about him. Nice people don't do the things Jeff did. As far as I'm concerned, Jeff deserved everything I did to him.
100%.
Do you
Agreed.
think OP went too far with his revenge? Or did Jeff deserve exactly what he got? Please let us know. Always use two-factor authentication, especially if you're planning on cheating. A customer wants to sue me for stealing
I think the
his
bangs
phone.
need to be
A few
moved
years
to the
ago,
left
I
a
worked a couple
little.
of seasons as receptionist slash
At
everything
least
that was
in
needed
the
at an
center.
inn in one of those really popular Costa Brava tourist cities. Due to the location, next to the main road that crossed the city, our restaurant was open to everyone, not only the guests. The restaurant had some outdoor tables next to the parking, accessible to everyone, not only for the customers. This is important. A lot of locals used our terrace and parking as a shortcut from the main road
They
to
need
the
to
school
be
that was on the
wider
other side.
too.
We also were the first restaurant that people that were going to the regional hospital would find. Due to that, every morning we had the ambulances crews eating breakfast. We liked them. They all knew us. My manager very often would make them some discounts. They didn't want us to give them free things. Several times, we had them leaving in a rush before they got a call. They would eventually come back later to pay for everything and apologize that they left without paying. We always told them not to worry about that. Our relationship with most of them was great, mostly because of one man, CG, from now on. One day, CG and his colleagues came to eat lunch after work. It happened to also be one of the busiest days in the restaurant and the inn. So
Now,
our
what
attention
is
was split
this?
between attending to the customers
Is there like
at the
a
tables,
just
at the
like a
bar,
random hair that goes
serving
like
food,
that?
clearing tables, and accepting customers to the rooms. Usually, we try to clean the tables shortly after the customer leaves. But
Do
that
you
day
want
was
those two
chaotic.
things?
We were understaffed.
The
and
one
starting to become
side doesn't
overwhelmed.
go through
Even
the
kitchen staff had to go
eyebrow
out
eye
sometimes to help clean the tables.
eyelash
So
slash
with all that
eyelash.
is
You talking about
going
this
on,
thing?
We didn't even notice when the guy paid and left with his friends. Now to the main event.
This thing.
Apparently, he forgot his phone on the table outside, the closest table to the open sidewalk. We had signs stating that we were not responsible for lost items. He came the next day in his paramedic uniform, asking if we had found his phone. I calmly told him that I personally have not, but will ask my colleagues if they did. I checked the lost items box, but nothing was there, nor have any of my colleagues found anything. So when I went back to him and explained that unfortunately we have not, at this point he dropped his nice guy facade and started yelling at me, saying, "You don't have respect for what we do for you. I'm sure that you decided to keep the phone for you because you don't earn enough to afford one. You thief. I know it was you because you're the one that served us yesterday. You have to give me my phone back now." I looked at him astonished, still trying to comprehend what just happened. And I say,
See, how do I get
"Sir,
this in there?
as you know, our terrace is open to everyone, and we are not responsible for items you
Okay,
leave on the
that's
tables."
closer.
Then he went on
This
with,
side needs to go
"Don't
out.
come at me with that
A bit
BS.
more.
I know you pick up
Alright,
items
just
from the
like right
tables
on
when
it.
people leave them behind." Me. "Yes, that is if we spot them. Unfortunately, yesterday was a really busy day, and we weren't able to keep up with the cleaning.
Alrighty,
So we didn't see what was
and-
left on your table. That is, of course, if anything was left there." CG didn't like my answer. "How dare you call me a liar? I come here to eat every day, and you offer me this crappy service? I'm going to sue you unless you give me my phone back. Now." Me. "I see that you don't understand. I can't give you something we don't have here."
Transform.
"Fine. You wanted it," said
It's a
as he
little
stormed off.
thinner.
I thought that was it. My colleague looked at me surprised. The couple of locals sitting at the counter drinking their beer were also confused. I just got my coffee
I also
and went
noticed
for a
that
break.
there's like a little
A
swish
day passed,
right
and
here.
as I was doing
It's,
the
like,
closing shift,
barely
we closed the
noticeable right
restaurant
there.
at 11 p.m. and this guy shows up 5 minutes before. "Have you found my phone yet?" "I told you that I can't find something that isn't here." Suddenly, he decided to act calm. "I'm not interested in the phone itself, but on it I had pictures of my kids and our trips. If I don't get it back, I will lose that." Me. "That is really sad. I wish I could help you with that. Trust me, if I would
Much
have found the
better.
phone,
E.
you would get it back." dropping his act. CG. You clearly don't care about customer service. You only care about the money. You took my phone and sold it somewhere. I want you to give me my phone back now.
Now this eye is
or I'll take legal
closed.
action.
Otherwise, it would be
At
all the
this
way up
point, I was done
here.
with this guy.
So I
Me.
gotta
Perfect.
bring that
Go
to
ahead.
the.
As long as you leave now, because it's past closing time. He left quickly, mumbling under his nose. Next day was Sunday. I came to the restaurant for my evening shift, knowing that the next day I had to open too. Usually this doesn't happen unless it's an emergency, because it requires the person that closes the inn to sleep at most 4 hours, because we open at 6 a.m. and closing requires
So
you
that
to stay
would
a
have
couple
been
of
over
hours
the eye,
after
but the eye
closing
is
to get everything
blinking.
ready for the next day. On Sundays is also when the owner of the company comes to eat lunch here with his family. He usually sits close to the register to keep a track on everything and make sure that there's no problems. It's a really calm day. We only have a couple of tables in the restaurant, plus the owner's table. 30
Now,
minutes
I'm
into
really
the shift,
confused.
CG appears again. He goes straight to the counter
I'm
and
really
starts his sermon.
confused
Are you
about.
ready to give me my
One
phone
thing
back?
we need to
Me.
pay attention to
I
is
keep
the
on
head
telling
shapes
you
are
for the
kind of
last 3 days,
different.
We don't have your phone here.
Like, they do
If
have the
you left
same
it
chubby
outside,
cheeks,
It's your fault.
but it's angled sides.
I
Like,
know the chief
yours,
of the police.
your character's
He's going to
facing
send
forward
the whole
here,
CSI
right?
Here, and they'll find my phone. Your restaurant
So,
is going to be closed down. You all are going to
whatever
regret this.
hair, I can't really
That
tell
is,
what's going
unless
on
you
in
give
that
me the phone.
area.
Do you want me to go there as I leave from here?
Chad,
Done with this
bro.
crap, yet
So,
still keeping calm.
I can't
Me.
tell what's going on in
Look,
this area right
I
here.
don't know what you want
Like,
to
there's
do
a lot
with
of
your free
eyelashes
time when you
mixing
leave
with
from here.
hair.
I can barely control
Is
what
it
you do
okay
when
if
you're
I just try to
inside.
come up
If you
with
wanna go to
something
the
that
police,
looks
go
good?
ahead.
Because
Just
on the
leave and stop
sides,
disturbing my
it's...
customers.
Oh, okay,
He
I can see
storms
what's
off,
going on right
slamming
here
the
a
door
little bit.
behind
There's
him.
like,
As I turn around and sigh, the owner
I'll
gets
do
up
this
and
side
comes
so I
to
can
me.
tell what's going
He
on.
asks me quietly to come with him to the kitchen. Once there, he asks me what this was all about. So I explain to him what had happened the last few days. He then says, with a tone of a father trying to cheer up his kid, "Owner, you handled it really professionally. I'm glad to have you here. Don't worry about that guy. You haven't done anything bad. If he actually goes to the police, you have no need to talk with them. You're just a worker here. Just give them the number of your manager, and don't make any statements if you don't want to. It's the management's job to
Okay,
deal
and
with
then
it."
there's
A
The
few minutes
fuck
later,
is that?
the owner left with his family, and my colleague and I returned to
Who
our
the fuck is
jobs.
calling me?
2 hours later, the front door opens.
Oh, you're calling
and
me.
2 police officers, with clear signs of being annoyed for having to leave.
Yes, okay. So let me explain this. God, I hear myself. I'm gonna turn myself down. So I can take a side angle of this, like, of the avatar if you want. I can also do it where it has no, I can take the glasses off as well if,
Oh, the
like,
glasses aren't a distraction. Glasses are fine. It's more so the fact that the eyelashes are, like, merging with the hair in a weird way that makes it where it's kind of hard to tell what's going on one side. Like, luckily there's enough shading that I can tell what's going on the right side. But it's really hard to tell what's going on the left side.
Here, I'll take some more, I'll take some more, screenshots here.
Literally worthless on the Grand Exchange. Okay.
This way, so it's,
I got you, brother.
it's easier.
Uh,
I'll take some more, like, side angle, like, just full-on side angle shots, too, just in case you need them.
Alright, that's
Help with the
good.
It'll help with the definition of the hair.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to shading.
Yes. I'll even get the side that you can't even really see much either, but it'll help with giving you the detail of what it looks like. The eyebrows do kind of actually flip through the hair a little bit, but it's not supposed to.
Oh, I was gonna draw them underneath the bangs once we were done.
Yes, do it. Yes.
Yeah. So the eyebrows I'm gonna put on last, basically, like underneath the hair, and then I'm gonna erase.
Eyelashes, eyebrows, whatever the fuck it is. I don't even know what to
Man.
consider.
Eventually, you need to just get a commission done for like a VTuber or not a VTuber, a character.
I mean, I have an app. You know, I can actually just take it from Unity and just import it and make my own, like, make my avatar a VTuber avatar if I want.
I mean, yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, you should just get, like, a full-on custom one, where it's, like, instead of parts from other characters, it's, like, everything's unique to your character. You know, like, something that's, like, just for your character. Because it looks like some of these items that you have merged together, because of them being merged together and taken from different things, they clip in a weird way. That's why I'm saying, like, how it merges.
That's because in Blender, I still new with doing that shit, so combining it,
True.
I still do that, so I'm not that good, but as time goes on, it will get better.
Yeah, get some practice in.
Yes. So yeah, but there, do those images help any?
Let me check. Da, 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 da. Oh yeah. So that helps a little bit. It's still a little kind of hard to see what's going on around the eyelashes themselves, but the cheek is great. Near the cheek is amazing.
Get in closer.
Oh snap!
What angle do you need? Do you just need
Hold up. Now that I'm seeing it sideways, it looks like a whole different hairstyle. I'm going to redo the stuff I just did on the hair.
Here, I'll even do the back, but it goes flat. It's not supposed to. On the back part, it doesn't curve. Which I mean, the back part you don't even really see anyways.
I'm
But
so
here,
confused.
I'll just take like on the like sideburn type area. I'll just
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to download this one, and I'm going to try to take it and put it in my thing and use it as a reference straight off the image. Now, here's the thing.
yeah,
My...
that one's a really good side image one.
Yeah, here's the issue, though. Currently, my hand is starting to cramp, so I might have to end stream soon. It's been drawing for about 2 hours, which is typically when my hands start to, like, cramp
Yeah,
up.
that's fine. That's fine. I don't want you to
Alright.
like overwork yourself or push yourself too hard.
Alright. And I can work on it tomorrow off stream, and then, like, once it's later in the day and everyone's, like, ready, like, to watch stream, I can stream it. I don't want to stream too early, and, like, you have to, like, make your daily schedule around it. Felt really bad when you're like, oh, I could have gone to an event, and I was like, oh my god. I ruined his day for a fucking Big Mac. That felt guilty.
Like I told you, it's fine. With my whole school schedule, anyways, because of like just how fucked it is. I haven't
My
been able
back
to be active that much, so.
Well, I think we're going to go ahead and save currently because my back's starting to hurt, my hand's hurting. And then we're going to continue with most of the hair tomorrow because that seems like it's going to be the hardest part.
Yeah.
I'm focusing on the uniform and the body afterwards. I mostly did that one shoulder so far because the hand is up near the hair. So, you know, I'm going to have to draw around the hands. Yeah. Thank you for more reference photos. Honestly, if you think there's anything else I might need, just feel free to send it to me. Like, I don't know, anything like of the hat or the patches, maybe. But, like you said, you said they didn't need to be too detailed, right? It's like,
Yeah, I mean,
you want
I
them
like
visible, but not, like, as crazy detailed as I did last time.
I mean, like, I would like them to be able to tell what it is, but it doesn't have to be like, oh, you have to do, like, the very patch, like, granules and
Like,
shit.
on this one that I did for you last time, like, I zoom in, and you can see the detail on, hold up, where is it? Like, it's just line, like, over and over again. It looks
Well,
like
yeah,
each
it's kinda
individual
like that. I mean,
stitch.
if you want, I can zoom in really close, or I can just send you the images of the patches so then you can look off of it.
I think, well, I'm gonna try to do it like they do in an anime, because it's an anime photo, like, basically, you know, the style of an anime, where the detail isn't there, but kind of like
Like an outline, basically.
an outline of the
No,
detail.
that's what I'm saying.
Because if I do it too detailed, that's where all the intention's gonna go.
Yeah, like, what I'm saying is I want it, like, to where you can tell what it is, but it's not, like, stupidly detailed.
Yeah. You, like, for example, if it has letters, instead of like I did last time where I wrote out all the letters as tiny as I could, but as, you know, if it has letters, I'm gonna kind of, like, messily write it, but in a way where it's not, it doesn't look crappy,
Bad.
but it doesn't look like, hey, you're gonna take your time to like zoom in, read it, and like struggle and
No, I get it.
yeah. So I'm basically focusing on the simplistic style, and I'm definitely gonna probably do the coloring with
I will
watercolor.
say the ribbons on the chest, which is that whole separate section.
That's
It's the not the uh, uh, name tag. By the way,
you're
on
talking
the
about
name tag,
the.
I don't want it to say DVC. I want it to be my OC's name. But
Make sure to type the name and send it. That way I don't forget. For those, I'm thinking of taking it and tracing out the gold. Like not like going in detail with it, but like everywhere there's gold, I'm gonna put like a gold solid image, and then put slightly
I'm not talking about
lighter.
buttons, I'm talking about this. Hold on, I'll cut it out. I'm talking about these. These will need to be like with the colors like exact, because if not, like.
Oh yeah, the colors are gonna be exact. Like
like it doesn't have to have like those like.
what the
little,
fuck is behind your character in that
forest-
image?
That's the flag for the.
That looks like another person behind your character.
It
Are you?
is.
Okay, that's what was
It
confusing
is,
me. I was
but
like, who
it's
the fuck is
leader.
that?
It's the leader. It's
He's
not.
breathing down your neck. Now, if you could, one thing I will need is a image. Do you have I basically what I need is a color palette for each of your buttons.
Oh fuck.
Cuz if I go in and I try to use the dropper tool, sometimes the lighting can mess up the colors, and if you want the colors to be exact, like proper, then I'll need a color palette, or you could just send me the image of each badge and I'll just pull it off that.
Of what badge? Sorry.
The shoulder one is kind of small, so it's going to be hard to pull the color off of it.
Oh, like the red.
The one near her hair, near her neck. Look on stream and you'll see what I'm pointing at.
Oh, the button.
Yeah, it's so small that I'm not going to be able to pull
It's
color
the
off of
same-
that.
It's the same as the other buttons.
Okay, then that's fine.
Yeah, that like all the buttons are the same color. The
Where's
belt's also supposed to be the same color, but it's a little fucked.
titty? And make sure you send one with a close-up of the badge that's underneath her left breast, underneath the name tag. Oh, and never mind, you already sent that. Never mind, you're good. All right, so I think we're good for now. I'll
Here,
continue
I'll
on
send a better
tomorrow.
one anyways, like, so then
Alrighty.
a good close-up one.
Alrighty. Hey, I just realized those are the same patches that Brett wears. The little line thingies.
Yeah, they're metal / ribbons.
He wears those on his
Standard.
blue uniform.
Yeah, dress uniforms. They're standard issue military. Like that's literally what if you get like let's say you pass basic training and
Bro, the
Marine
blue
Corps,
uniform on base is
you get-
so fucking hot. I love it when he put.
Have I showed you my Air Force uniform that I have?
You own one? Like, wait, are you in the Air Force?
No, I want.
Oh, you mean your character?
Yeah, I have an Air Force character.
Oh
Gotta have
shit!
Hold on, I was a senior airman. Let me find it.
It's so weird to think that there's role plays out there of just Army and Air Force and things like that. But I guess it makes sense. It makes sense, right? Alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream since we're already ending our drawings and such right here. And my back hurts
Alright,
leaning over this drawing tablet right now. Alrighty.
figure.
Let me see who I can raid though, because I want to see who is active. Oh. Who is active. And if Neo is active, we can all harass my sister.
Here, there's some of those.
We're gonna harass Gamer! Let's go! Also, for those who are unaware, today is Homestuck Day. So make sure if you go harass Gamer to tell him Happy Homestuck Day.
Fuck.
He'll probably be really confused why a bunch of people know about it. Boom.
I think my ass is gonna go to bed. It's fucking 11 and I have class tomorrow.
You better make sure to lurk on Gamer. If you don't, I'm gonna draw big ass titties on your character. I'm gonna strap on.
Okay.
And then a clown nose.
Okay.
Damn, nothing phases you. Just leave your phone on. Just leave it watching. Charge it. Turn the volume all the way down. You won't even know.
Fucking wakes up. He's just like, the stream has ended.
Do it. You're gonna sleep anyways. Give him that view. We gotta support it. Oh my fucking god, I forgot that I put a safety pin through my hand. Alright, let's go ahead and start this raid, everybody.
Drawing the entire fucking time.
I had it in my hand the entire time I was drawing. Base is gonna smack the shit out of me. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off for right now. My back is killing me.
That's fine. Yeah, but that's the Air Force uniform. For
It is adorable. Alright, see ya.
What?
It's adorable, all those characters.
Yeah.
See ya. Bro, I'm still alive.